Fremantle Oval, home for the Sharks, who, led by former East Perth and Fitzroy star Ron Alexander, have only lost one league game this season and are favourites for the 1985 flag. Laplane Park, base for Perth, the Demons, and home of some of the nation's best-known players. Still looking for consistent form under former WA and VFL star Mal Brown. Fremantle Oval, one of the state's oldest and home of the South Fremantle Bulldogs, produced national and state coach John Todd, as well as many stars of the WAFL and VFL. Subiaco Oval, WAFL headquarters and home ground for the Lions, Subiaco Football Club, premiership contenders for the 1985 season. Perth Oval, home for the East Perth Royals. Players from this club read like a who's who in Australian football, including Polly Farmer, Kevin Murray and Mal Brown. Claremont Oval, home of the Claremont Tigers, one of Western Australia's strongest clubs, performing well in 1985 despite an exodus of top players to Victoria at the end of 1984, coached by Brownlow medalist Graham Moss. Bassendean Oval, home of Swan Districts, coached by national and state coach John Todd, WA premiers for the past 3 years and supported by intensely loyal fans. Can they make it 4 in a row? These 8 clubs have provided all the players to meet a mighty Victorian team here at Subiaco Oval for this once-a-year match, which sees Australia's greatest players in action as the great game goes on.
Good afternoon, everybody, through 7 Sport Australia, and welcome to Subiaco Oval, which you can see on your screen at the moment. In this our 100th year of football in Western Australia, for undoubtedly what is the highlight of the Interstate Football Series, the State of Origin game between Victoria and Western Australia. Co-commentator today is Bob Miller, and statistics you'll hear from a little bit later on during the show from Peter Phillips. And Bob, looking around at the enormous crowd we saw a moment ago, they are obviously here in expectation, and if this game is anything like the previous couple, we're in for an absolutely magnificent encounter.
Yes, John, I think well in excess of 30,000 people here. I think they've declared it a national football holiday as well they might do. Everything's set, a perfect day for football, very little breeze, bright sunshine here, about 19 or 20 degrees. So the crowd in great expectations of another great State of Origin game. They're 5 each at the moment, so this could be a great decider.
Well, Tim Flynn, the chairman of World of Sport, is on the boundary line with a couple of special guests in Barry Cable and Ron Alexander to talk to them. Let's go down to him right now.
Right, thanks very much, John Rogers, and welcome to Subiaco Oval here on the occasion of the State of Origin match. And a couple of fellows known nationally to all Australian rules followers around Australia. Firstly, Ron Alexander. Ron, of course, former Fitzroy champion and now coach of the top team over here in WA, and that's East Fremantle. The game today, it's a very big one, Ron. You've played in them yourself. How do you read the game and a possible result?
Well, it's very difficult to read a game like this, especially the last two haven't been won by a kick by WA. So obviously there's not going to be much in it. I think that the forward line that we've got will certainly help Western Australia greatly with the likes of Richardson and Baker on the half-forward flanks. I think the backman will find it very, very difficult to tie them down. I think Rioli in the centre will also be a very, very useful player. But then again, you go through the Victorian lineup with Merritt and Harvey and Neagle and these sort of players. And to be honest, you can't split them. And I'm just looking forward to a very, very entertaining game.
A result?
Well, I'm still a West Australian at heart, and I'd like to see WA sneak through, but it's only a guess. And I think it'll be very tight. The wind's going to play a little bit of havoc because it's gusty. So we're not sure what will happen there, but it'll definitely have some influence on the game.
All right, thanks very much, Ronnie Alexander. The other gentleman I'm going to introduce you to now, of course, needs very little introduction. Of course, Barry Cable, well known to all those Melbourne people over there, of course, with his days as a coach and player with North Melbourne, of course, back here in WA. The game today, a very big one. They've all been exciting games, Barry, and how do you see the game from your point of view today?
Well, they've certainly been all exciting, Tim. There's no doubt about that, and I think at the moment we're 5-all, so today's going to see who's going to actually lead. Victoria always has a tremendous side. The last 2 games, I think we've only got in by a couple of points. There's some good players on both sides. Young Harvey will be a good player to watch from the Victorian side as a young player. Brereton at centre-half forward's very good, but then we've got the Ross Glendennings and the Riolis.
The WA Rovers.
Side bottom. Mitchell and Jimmy Cracker, of course, have been terrific rovers. Jimmy in Victoria and young Mitchell here. And they could, in fact, swing the game Western Australia's way, although Whiteman and young Brian Raw have been playing great for Victoria.
All right, thank you, Barry Cable will be joining us throughout the afternoon. Ron, thank you. He'll be joining our main commentary team now. We're coming back with some highlights of last year's fabulous State of Origin match right after this break.
Every lane's a fast lane. Everyone's in gear. Los Angeles, I can't explain. Just know I'm staying here. It's the city of angels, a city of sun, a city of stars, and maybe she'll be one. And I'm staying for the show. LA, I'll never go. With a beer for my taste comes from another place.
Australia's great international beer is starring in the world's great cities every day.
It's a city of stars, pretty girls and fancy cars, and the energy goes on all night.
Foster's Lager, it's got the flavor that's taking it all around the world.
You've got a cold. Your head aches, your nose is stuffed up, but you just have to keep up the pace. And if that's not bad enough, some cold remedies leave you tired. But now there's new Benadryl cold and flu tablets, effective relief from the symptoms of a cold. Benadryl tablets help clear your head, unblock your nose, even relieve your aches and pains, but they won't make you drowsy. Benadryl cold and flu tablets. You'll be back in the swing of things in no time at all.
Close to Hyden in Western Australia is one of our most spectacular rock formations.
Called wave rock, its incredible shape has been carved by wind and rain over millions of years. The unique result of a combination of natural forces, like the unique combination of natural goodness and taste in Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate. Because only Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate has the goodness and nutrition of that famous glass and a half of full cream dairy milk in every 200-gram block. Cadbury Dairy Milk, the great taste of good chocolate.
Well, last year's match between Western Australia and Victoria was probably one of the most exciting, hardest fought and most magnificent games of football that we've seen for quite some time. And you'll recall, of course, that Western Australia just fell over the line in the dying minutes of the game by 4 points. For those of you who may not quite remember how it all went, let's relive some of the excitement of that game right now.
Great crowd in attendance here this afternoon. The ball goes towards Gary Pert. Rioli's in there too, left centre wing. Out comes Rioli. Boots it back towards the half-ball line. X underneath. It's a good mark to Blackball. Blackball 50 metres out. Has a punch up towards goals. It's going forward to the mark by Gary's side, but right in the square. Plays on. First blood to Western Australia.
Harding dropped what he should have taken. Caught by Danaher. Got the hand pass away to Brian Peake, though, who drives the ball long into the forward line. In front, Glendinning has claimed the mark. And I reckon he had about third hands on that.
Well, that was impossible almost because Glendinning had about 5 Victorians around him and still managed to take control of that ball.
So Glendinning from 50 metres out. Western Australia leads by a point. It's a good-looking kick. It's through the centre and WA have got their second.
The umpires are in firm control of the game.
Jim Buckley, backward of right centre wing for Victoria, puts the ball marginally into attack. Knocked away from Madden. Swooping on it is Rioli. A long kick. Glendenning's on the break. And Glendinning has got the ball. Long kick from Glendinning. Robert Wiley's loose if he can get there. Got to wait to see if it bounces kindly. It does. Wiley's snapshot is high. It's long. Has it been touched? Yes. No, it wasn't. Magnificent effort from Wiley. I didn't think the kick was going to make it, but it has.
Daniels in the van. Plenty of time to get around. Boots it back towards the forward area. Is it a mark? It is.
Yeah,
Glendinning. The no medalist. from 1983 for sure. Ross Glendinning, 45 metres out, has a shot, it's coming back. There's a great goal. Pete come right down to take that one. He's at half forward at the moment. He's about 60 metres out from goal. Puts it back in towards that full forward spot. Busasto's in the back, can't get it. Comes to the pocket, Malaxis gets his foot to the goal. Forward flank. Wiley appealing for the kick. The umpire's still letting it go. Busasto chance from 45 metres out. Here's a snapshot to Wiley. Oh, this will be close. That's a goal and 11th for Western Australia. Wayne Blackwell's going to take it. He's about 70 metres out on the far side of the ground. He'll boot it long towards the forward area. That's the way he goes. Taylor's in there. Oh! Towards full forward. Taylor's high in the air this time, but he can't grab it. Out comes the flank to Cronin. In the pocket. Glendinning taps it on.
Here's a goal.
Chance now for Malaxis. He has another snap. And the result of another miraculous goal to Stephen Malaxis. And that's the 13th to Western Australia.
They've got all the height down there, the Vicks at the moment, but too many went to the ball. Daniels goes back, shoots and scores. Wiley with it close to the boundary line. He's kept it in. Great play by Wiley, the side bottom, who stuck through for a reply from WA. Glendenning's the target. They all flew. Glendinning emerges, gets the head past the Wiley. Wiley inside 25 metres and WA are back in front to the forward line. Side bottom in front and the mark. The hand pass out to Daniels. This looks solid up. And Daniels has put it through.
You can get it riding, you can get it sliding, you can feel it coming on about 4. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer, and the best cold beer is Vic. Vic Bitter. You can get it in a hole, or up a pole. You can get it doing nothing at all. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. A long, cold Vic. You can get it walking. You can get it talking. You can get it working a plow. Matter of fact, I got it now. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. Victoria Bitter.
Do away with the hard work of shopping and shop at home at supermarket prices. Just look at the prices we're offering Steele's Glacier customers right now. Quality legs of lamb, $4.99 each. Edgell brand frozen peas, only $1.59 a kilo. Tasty leg lamb chops, a bargain at $1.99 a kilo. Steele's Glacier is fully recommended and endorsed by the Housewives Association of Victoria. Phone 699-7522 now for an obligation-free brochure.
Well, you can see there the West Australian State of Origin team out on the ground, and both coaches, of course, are playing their cards fairly close to their chest because WA have run out with their full complement of 26 or 28 players, but, of course, some of those are going to leave the ground. We found it fairly easy to get a list of 22 from the Victorians and a probable team placing, so let's have a look at that right now. This is how we think they're going to line up, but we're not 100% sure, of course. Victorian team: Bowles, Purton, Walsh, Green, Roos and Alvin, Barham, Rains and Neagle across the centre, Harvey, Merritt and Brereton, Hughes, Lockett, Ezzard, Madden, Watson, Royal, and interchange Toohey, Osborne, Waitman and Wallace. So that means out of the Victorian lineup is Hawkins, Loveridge, Chris Mew unfortunately is out with influenza, and Peter Dean is out also. But looks a fairly good side. Bob, what about the West Australians?
I'd say that's pretty close to the Victorian side. There's the West Australians: Hardy, Browning, Holden, Hunter, Glendinning, Leicester Smith, Daniels, Rioli, Blackwell, Richardson, Gary, Sidebottom, Baker, Mitchell, Beasley, Sewell, Purser, Peak and Cracker. Interchange Allen, Sidebottom, Wiley and Ania. There must be another one to go in there somewhere along the line. And out of the West Australian side is Judge, Malaxis, Dorotich and Bahaja.
And here come the Victorians out onto the ground now. As our Victorian viewers can obviously hear from the
and they've got one
reaction from the crowd, and they've got all their players out as well.
One sign up there simply says V Power.
And on the back it says, go the Mighty Vicks. And this really is going to be some sort of a game.
John, I'd say if you're not excited today here, whether you're a commentator or a spectator or something else, well, you don't know anything about football.
Well, Bob, other than the finals for respective states, I really believe that this is the highlight of football throughout Australia, is the State of Origin clash between Victoria and WA. The games that have been played at Subiaco Oval have been absolutely magnificent. The last couple, I think, by, 4 points and 2 points. And the indications are that the Victorians have picked an extremely strong side. Kevin Sheedy has given WA open selection because he wants to get Victoria back on top as far as interstate clashes are concerned. So he's giving the WA selectors every opportunity to pick their best team. Yes. And incidentally, they're going to be tossing. We are celebrating our 100th year of football here in Western Australia in 1985. And as quite a little perk, if you like, we're tossing the coin, and it'll be an 1885 penny, a 100-year-old penny, Bob.
Well, it must be worth a few dollars. There he is, Timmy Watson, the vice-captain down there, and a very fit Tim Watson. We watched both sides train out here yesterday at Subiaco Oval, and funnily enough, they both trained at the same time at 3 o'clock. Vic at one end of the ground, WA end at the other.
Yes, but the thing with that was, of course, Bob, that Western Australia were not scheduled to train at that time of the day. And I guess it's an indication of the intense rivalry between the two coaches, John Todd and Kevin Sheedy. Todd had his players out on the ground even though they weren't supposed to be there.
Well, Kevin Sheedy wasn't worried about it, but
Sheedy didn't worry at all.
Edward J. Whitten wasn't too pleased about it and said a few words over here.
Yes, he did. Indeed, he did. So there are the umpires for today, Ian Robinson from Victoria and Mike Ball from Western Australia, both the form umpires at the moment.
Yes, and Ian Robinson, 302 games in Victoria, a great achievement. He achieved his 300 this year. And Mike Ball, the WA umpire, umpiring his 150th league game today, so quite an achievement for both umpires.
As Bob was saying, we had a look at the Victorians work out last night, and they impressed me with their ball handling, the crispness of the work they did, their determination and their fitness.
One thing here, I'm just looking through the lineup, John, and Victoria can only manage 6 players from last year's side, and WA have got 14.
Well, the breeze may well play a factor in today's game. It's an easterly wind, which is most unusual for this time of year in Perth. Normally we've got southwesterlies coming from the other way, and that'll blow, of course, from left to right across your screen. But an easterly breeze will favour that end, I guess, to the tune, the right-hand end of the ground, I guess, to the tune of 2 or 3 goals, Bob. But you'll certainly be able to kick goals into it.
Yes,
and a magnificent crowd.
There it is, a section of the big crowd. Not many people working here in Western Australia this afternoon. Well in excess of 30,000 people, and I'm sure they're going to love every moment of this very big clash if it's anything like the last two.
Yes, Victorians have picked, I think there's a contrast in the two sides. The Victorians seem to have picked very much a workmanlike team, haven't they? Good percentage players, but there seems to be a touch more brilliance in some of the Western Australians. How do you think it'll pan out?
Yes, they've picked a team of runners, Victor. Just one thing that worries me, they've got Roger Merritt and Simon Madden, the only 2 ruckmen in the side. If one of those break down, I don't know. Perhaps Dermot Brereton or Kevin Walsh would go on the ball, but they have not got another ruckman on the bench.
Well, I know that Sheedy will have given a lot of thought to the way he's picked his team. They are a very impressive side. They're fit, very keen talking to them. They realise that this, of all interstate clashes, is the one that they want to win more than anything else. And the Western Australians equally as determined.
Well, 22 players on each side, 4 interchange players. So that'll be interesting with 4 on the bench. We don't know who they are at the moment. Pick them up as the game goes on.
I believe that South Australia have agreed to using 4 interchange players next year.
Yeah, a few months too late, I think.
Let's stand by now for the anthem.
angels, a city of sun, a city of stars, and maybe she'll be one. And I'm staying for the show. LA, I'll never go. With a beer for my taste comes from another place. Watch this London.
Sir, your wife's new Pulsar Vagabond.
What about all these
Yes,
extras?
well,
Headlamp protectors, crime exhaust, mud flaps, get them off.
But your wife is still...
Willow cooler, car care kit, tool kit, first aid kits, floor mats, air conditioning.
Yes, right.
That's over $1,000 worth of extras, pal.
All standard on Pulsar Vagabond. Your wife's actually saved you $600.
Yeah, I knew that. She's a smart lady, my missus.
Well, nobody's left the field yet, Bob. It's going to be
Makes it
interesting.
very handy for the commentators and very handy for the public. There's 26 players out there on either side, and I'm sure the public will not know who's playing till about the end of the first quarter.
Dermot Brereton just loosening up. Named to play on a half-forward flank. I wonder if he'll line up there or at centre-half forward.
Well, with Richard Osborne on the other side of him over there, what a great half-forward line they've got.
Yep. And the umpires are blowing the whistles to say, hey, come on, fellas, let's get the guys that aren't playing off the ground, please, so we can get the action underway. That's a fine shot, isn't it, of the Subiaco Oval?
Yes, a packed Subiaco Oval here. League headquarters here in Western Australia, and talking to both sides in the rooms a few minutes ago, and some very determined players down there to play a good game, but also some very touchy players are anxious to get going and get into this big clash.
Bob, you saw in the with the helicopter shot a moment ago, which I'll explain to our viewers, some semicircular lines. These lines are the 25-metre and 50-metre lines, which we use here in Western Australia at all grounds. I guess it helps the commentators, it helps the umpires when they're adjudicating 15 metres, and it also enables the players to know how far out they are. So that's what they are,
and also
50 and 25-metre lines.
Also helps the public.
Yes, indeed.
Well, the surface here on Saturday, when the league game was played here, was practically underwater. We had 65 millimetres of rain on Saturday. We haven't had any since, and the ground is in perfect condition.
Yes, it's a very fine winter's day, isn't it? There's hardly a cloud in the sky, and a light easterly breeze, as we said, blowing from left to right across your screen, which is the direction in which Western Australia will kick in the first quarter.
Well, besides winning this game for the winning side, there's a Tassie medal to be awarded for the 3 games. There's a Simpson medal for the best on the ground today, and I believe there's also an E.J. Whitten medal for the best Victorian.
Well, the interchange players are making their way to the bench. Looks like...
the whole 6 of them?
Yep. And the action, the game for 1985, the State of Origin match between Victoria and Western Australia, just about to get underway. Looks like Paul Roos lining up at centre-half back on Gary Sidebottom. Robert Wiley, Simon Beasley at full forward, opposed by Victoria's Gary Pert. And I believe that Sidebottom, Beasley has trouble with Pert in Melbourne games. Brad Hardy, Dale Waitman with him.
Tassie medalist last year and Simpson medalist, Brad Hardy.
Siren about to start for the 1985 State of Origin game between Victoria and Western Australia. Simon Madden to do the ruck work for Victoria, and he'll be opposed by Western Australia's Andrew Purser. Bounce slightly favouring Purser, but Madden over the top. Merritt trying to get it forward. Number 9 is Leon Baker for Western Australia. Out wide looking for Michael Mitchell. Mitchell with possession.
There's a bubble in the centre.
And there's a brawl going on in the middle of the ground already. Madden's into that. Sidebottom's just stomped on him. And it's on for young and old. Mark Harvey's come in. Sidebottom's got whacked.
Goodness me, the opening bounced down, and they right into, as soon as the ball went to the half-forward line, Merritt's saying something to Gary Sidebottom. I don't think they're actually loving words, and they're still coming in.
Yes, they are. Merritt and Sidebottom.
They should be in the ring.
Tell you what, must be part of somebody's plan to upset someone.
Well, I don't know who got upset. About 12 players on either side, I would say.
And in the meantime, Western Australia have scored a behind. Don't know who kicked it because we were following the fight.
Buckenara kicked the point.
Buckenara kicked the behind for Western Australia. First score on the board, the WA. But boy, plenty of action.
Plenty of action for sure as Gary Pert about to kick in towards the grandstand flank. What an opening. Jeff Rains. Oh, he's been paid the mark. Play on to the umpire. Rains gets it down towards the flank. Taking position well as Tui. Bernard Tui. Oh, he's floored. Kick towards the wing. Hazard's got it. Goes inboard to Neagle. Neagle a long kick towards full forward looking for Lockett. From the back, it's no mark. Osborne took that one, was not paid. Pete gets it out to Hardy.
Brad Hardy tries to clear. Boy, he's done. There's another fight on the 25-metre line. I think that Richard Osborne might be in that somewhere. 14 for Western Australia is Glenn Denning. And it's going to be a Victorian kick. Richard Osborne to take it. And this may well be some of the tactics we said a little earlier. I don't know which side is employing them, but there's certainly some roughhouse stuff going on at the moment.
That's umpire Mike Ball who awarded that kick, and a few of the West Australians having a word to him there. What an opening to an interstate clash.
And how. So Richard Osborne from 35 metres out directly in front. Kick looks okay. From the cheer, I'd say he's missed. And it's one behind each at the 2.5-minute mark of the first quarter.
Osborne kicking to the Perth end, into the slight breeze. Leicester Smith kicking into play and will come out towards the grandstand flank. That's a great kick, 65 metres. Holden's got it up towards the square, and the umpire will bounce it down on the point of the square.
No,
that's a free kick.
Yeah.
Free kick, but the umpires asserting their authority. Buckanara boots it out towards the half-forward line, looking for Gary Sidebottom. Wiley takes the crumbs. Robert Wiley towards half-forward to Richardson. Quickly plays on, around the neck. Plays on to Mitchell. Mitchell 20 metres out. Well, put it through for 4 points to Western Australia.
Well, that was superb play by WA on that occasion. The kick was onto Richardson. He ignored it. There he is. Richardson to Mitchell, who's been in devastating form for his local club, Claremont. Ran into an open goal. And Western Australia lead 1-1-7. Victoria are one behind. Here it is from another angle. There's the high tackle. The hand pass on to Mitchell. And Mitchell into an open goal. And it would have been difficult for him to have missed from there. So it's 7 plays 1. Bounce down. Madden. Western Australia through Blackwell out towards half forward. Mitchell. With him is Folds. Very close to the boundary line. Folds over the top. And that's Tom Alvin, number 17 for Victoria. And it's on Western Australia's left half-forward flank.
Michael Mitchell was one that shared the sand over medal with 2 others here in 1984 and been in great form this year. Simon Madden gets it down to Watson. He's smothered. They haven't got a second opportunity. Folds it on the bottom of that one and a bounce down just over the 50-metre line. 4.5-minute mark coming up. 1-1 Western Australia, 1 point Victoria. Madden gets it out. Towards the far flank. Nobody can pick it up. Alvin trying to push it through. Tackle. Out of play.
So that'll be thrown in on Western Australia's left half-forward flank. They lead 7-1 at the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. Side bottom over the top was meant for Mitchell. 19 for Victoria is Roos, centre half back. Alvin clears into the centre of the ground. The race on here. Good play by Waitman. Victoria moved the ball up towards half forward. But strong in defence. Leicester Smith off right half back flank. Kick not quite what he would have liked. 16 is Ken Hunter for WA. Brad Hardy goes in holding the ball against Hunter. And it'll be Richard Osborne to take the kick for Victoria. Left centre wing. Osborne, the left half forward. Brereton the target, knocked away from him. Chance for Waitman. This is Hardy. Good hand pass from Hardy to Pete. Pete didn't quite have a look. Oh, yes, he did. Straight to Robert Wiley. Wiley to Richardson. He can't keep it in play. And it's just forward of WA's right centre wing.
Thrown in front of the member stand here at the packed Subiaco Oval. Rucks coming in. Simon Madden. Post to Purser. Purser gets it down. Buckanara. Goes back to Cracker. Side bottom. battling with Rouge, and the ball's gone out of play. Apparently Gary Sidebottom is going to do all the ruck work in the forward line, and Purser staying back across the centre.
Bob, that clash between Rouge and Sidebottom is going to be something worth seeing, isn't it?
Yes, Paul Rouge, a good young player for Fitzroy. Sidebottom gets it down, but it's taken by skipper Russell Green. Over it goes to Rains. Look at this kick from Rains, a good one to half forward into no man's land. Waitman's trying hard. Pete gets it out. Picked up by Hardy. He has a quick kick to Buckenara.
That's good play out of defence. Good shepherding too. Stops Dermot Brereton with his tracks. Cracker! Just outside 50 metres, Jimmy Cracker over the top of Gary Fold. And he's got it on quickly to Mitchell. And Michael Mitchell now, who's already scored 1 goal, a chance to kick from 30 metres out. This is the Jimmy Cracker mark. Eyes on the ball, and a good delivery to Mitchell, who now will have a shot. Michael Mitchell, I think, dropped that awkwardly. Very awkwardly, in fact, out on the full. He brought into play by Bernard Toohey out of the left fullback pocket.
Yes, a very nervous kick. Gets out to Brian Royal. He's between fullback and halfback. Brings it down towards the wing. Purser from the top. Watson, throw it. Simon Madden still on the ball, opposed to Gary Sidebottom. Oh, good use of the body by both sides. Sidebottom comes out with it. Cracker from the back. Can't get this one. A chance for Richardson. Over to Beasley. Gets a quick kick to wide ball forward. I think Beasley's offline. He's put it through for the minor score, and Jimmy Cracker doing good work in the forward line.
He is, and he looked to have his name written all over that mark, but just was not able to pull it in. So it'll be Burt to bring the ball into play. Goes out towards left half back. The target, number 22, Bernard Toohey, has been awarded the mark. And the 15-metre penalty. Toohey wastes no time, has a man available on left centre wing. It's Brian Royal. Royal dumped as he got rid of the ball. Well picked up by Waitman. Waitman in towards centre half forward. Knocked on very cleverly by Merritt, but not before a kick had been given away. 18 is Sidebottom Allen. Far side of the ground. Mark being paid to Western Australia's Purser.
Lucky to get that one, I think.
Yep, agreed. Purser towards half forward. Sidebottom the target. Roos behind him, and Roos will get the kick. They're playing the advantage. And now Royal can take off. Left foot kick, again to half forward. Lockett the target. The too strong for him was Leicester Smith. It could be on again if they're not careful.
Well, Leicester Smith played on the wing here in Western Australia, but by G's playing well in defence now. He's played there for Hawthorn last year and this year. 15-metre penalty.
I just say, Bob, the WA defence holding firm at the moment.
Long kick, looking for Sidebottom. With him is Rouge. Rob Wiley's in there too. Pushing the back. Rob Wiley to take it. Captain of Perth here in Western Australia this year, and former Richmond player. Boots it towards full forward. Beasley in front. Well thumped away. Chance for Foles. He boots it back to the centre, and it's taken by Jeff Rains.
Rains between centre and centre half back. Playing well so far for Victoria. Towards left half forward. Merritt with 2 to beat. Can't do it, but will get a kick. Shows what happens when you're in front.
Playing at centre half forward, I think, Merritt.
Roger Merritt is indeed. Lockett the target. Can't get there in time. It's on the 50-metre line. It won't bounce up for him. But over the top of him, Leicester Smith. And the kick to go to Tony Lockett. In short. Good pass and a nice mark to Dale Waitman.
Knows where the goals. This fellow, he kicked 6 against South Australia.
Brereton making a lead, which he ignores. The reason being that Merritt was there.
Well, he's an ungainly player, Roger Merritt, but he certainly does his job.
He's a good one. It's 1-2-8 for Victoria are behind. 10.5 minutes in the first quarter. This is Roger Merritt from 35 metres directly in front.
Listen to the crowd.
Merritt's kick is off to the right and has stayed out there. So Victoria with a couple of opportunities, Bob, both of which have gone begging.
Yes, got a little bit to put up with, I suppose, with the local crowd here. Out it goes to Baker. Been a great success at Essendon. Played in a premiership side last year. Up to Blackwell. Half-flankers Peak took an air shot and missed it. Blackwell still battling, but the boundary line's too close, and Alvin puts it out. Well, the score at 11.5-minute mark. 1-2, 8 points WA, 2 points Victoria. The wind not a factor at the moment. Still on that outer side. Nobody, Rains is in there, and so is the umpire. Well, it's been pretty fast to date. And those sides can get a clean breakaway. Purser and Madden, they're going to duel all day. Alvin comes out with it. Rioli, back it goes to the centre. So kick somewhere along the line. It's going back to Western Australia and go to Purser. Purser to kick from the centre of the ground.
Purser puts the ball high to the 50-metre line. Beasley's got 2 or 3 to beat. Victoria bring it to the ground well. Here comes Jimmy Cracker. Oh, hand pass to Wiley, who's in a nest of Victorian defenders. And Bernard Toohey put a great tackle on him.
Jimmy Cracker could have kicked that, but he elected a hand pass.
Bernard Toohey playing well in defence for Victoria. Over the top side bottom, Madden propped. Neagle can't get the ball away. Fires the hand pass out to Green. Green in turn to Harvey. Harvey a lovely kick to right half forward. Merritt nearly took the mark. He was spoilt by his own man Lockett. Western Australia clear. Leading in the race to the ball is Osborne. It's on the half-back flank. He just traps it in time. The kick straight into Leon Baker, and it'll be thrown in on the far side of the ground.
Leon Baker was right down in the centre wing when that kick was out to half forward. I don't know where Osborne's playing. He's in the half-back line at the moment, so they're throwing players all over the ground. Baker again picked up by Waitman. Right centre wing. Boots it down towards the half-forward flank. And once more, the ball's gone out of bounds through Leicester Smith. Half-forward flank outer side, about 75 metres out from the Vic goal. Ruck's gathering. Purser and Merritt this time, taken by Waitman, by Jimmy, he can read it. Back it goes to Harvey, boots it towards half-forward, and that's a good mark. There in the last line of defence by Alan Sidebottom and a 15-metre penalty, no.
Alan Sidebottom with the ball, decides to switch play to Brad Hardy. Closing on him was Merv Neagle, but not in time. It was meant for Wayne Blackwell. He couldn't get there in time. Good spoiling tactics by Victoria's Watson. That's him, number 2. Just forward of left centre wing for Victoria. Madden from behind. Hunter the chance for WA. Hooks back towards the centre. Wiley in between 4 Victorians' marks. Hand pass to Leon Baker. Baker long towards half forward. The mark taken by Richardson. Richardson into the left full forward pocket. Nobody down there, and it'll be thrown in. Throw in WA's left full forward pocket. Beasley going to have to do the ruck work. There's no one there to help him. Posed by Perth. Rains does it well to 19, who was Paul Roos. Roos didn't quite look where he was kicking. Chance for WA. Holden got the hand pass to Baker. Baker in trouble. Sidebottom has it knocked away by Alvin. Rioli. 13 for WA is Holden. Knocked to the ground by Wiley. Victoria desperate in their defence. Cleared brilliantly by Alan Ezard. Underneath it is Harvey and takes a good strong mark.
Well, they pressure football from both sides then. Either go to centimetres. Harvey kicks it towards the right centre wing. Back of players out there, Roger Merritt.
Long way down from centre half forward. Bobby's backward of the wing.
They're running far and wide, the players. Alan Ezard. Plenty of pace from this fellow. Boots it towards half forward. Link from Madden. Over his head. Hunter comes into it. Kick it to Leicester Smith again. And Rod Leicester Smith kicks towards the centre. Buckenara. Good mark.
Well, we've missed those, haven't we, since Buckenara has been east. Looks like Victoria changing their rucks at centre half forward. That's where Madden. Oh, and Sidebottom is absolutely rocked. I don't know who it was. I'll tell you in a second. Came in with a hip and a shoulder. It's Bernard Toohey. Oh, did he put him down?
Well, he went straight in. He was full bore.
Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Bernard Toohey, a little bit groggy, I would say, at this stage, from big Gary Sidebottom.
Why wouldn't he be? He's picked him up.
Coming off.
Oh, and how. Sidebottom in Madden. Madden will get the kick, but he's backward of left wing.
Well, Madden's a familiar figure over here in Western Australia. He should be a WA citizen the time he's been over here that many times. Over to Osborne, he's having trouble. Gives it to Neagle. Merv Neagle, centre wing. Long one towards full forward. They're having trouble in the forward line, Victoria. And there's a push in the back. It'll go to Hunter. No, it's got to come back, apparently.
Bernard Toohey is off, and Steve Wallace is on for Victoria.
Over goes to Ross Glendinning. Up towards Richardson. With him is Mark Harvey, and Harvey gets his kick.
Harvey's kick to the 50-metre line will be marked for WA by Glendinning.
Both back lines are well on top at this stage.
Glendinning goes short to Leon Baker. Baker plays on, gets around Ezard. Left foot kick, far side of the ground. Good mark to side bottom, Allen. Side bottom, back to Leon Baker. Western Australia trying to mount something, but Baker's kick hit the ground, and Alvin took a fine mark. Quick hand pass off, finally out to Rains. Jeff Rains into the centre. This for Victoria is Wallace, who's just come on the ground. Goes out on the far side of the ground and finds Dermot Brereton. Brereton kicked into his man Glendinning. And an error that you wouldn't normally see the Hawthorn player make.
Well, that shows how both sides are so keyed up out there today.
So it's on Victoria's right half forward.
The blonde bombshell got his head pulled
very
off.
heavily dealt with, and will take a kick forward of right centre wing.
Dermot Brereton, good player for the Hawks. He will kick long into the forward area, I'd say, and he's a pretty good kick. There it goes. Wobbly old one this time. Into the pocket. Nobody can pick it up. Waitman's got it. Chance for Royal. Pete gets it out again. They're playing roller backs. Holden boots it up towards the centre. Side bottom, all on his own. No backup. Oh, a lucky break gives it to Buckenara. Mitchell sidesteps beautifully. Puts it up towards Beasley, a chance. With him is Gary Pert. And Gary Pert gets the ball out towards a half-back flank, looking for Timmy Watson, but the boundary line's too close.
And Gary Pert playing extremely well on Simon Beasley, who is the form forward in Victoria at the moment. And Pert sticking very, very close to Beasley. Just forward of WA's left centre wing. Interference to Madden, and he'll take the kick.
John, nearly 19 minutes gone. There's been one goal scored.
Yeah, we're 19 minutes into the first quarter, and it's 1-2 to 2 points. 8 plays 2, and Buckenara with the ball in the centre. Rifles it into the forward line. Knocked away in defence by Osborne. Still a chance for Victoria. Rioli goes in. Tackled high, but won't get a kick.
A little bit unlucky there, perhaps, but the umpire said he'll bounce it.
So it'll be bounced just outside WA's 50-metre line. Madden over the top beautifully. Buckenara, Mitchell to Rioli. Call to play on. Buckenara comes through again. Number 9 is Mark Harvey. Gets the hand pass to Roos. Roos high kick. Watson underneath it. Knocked away from him. Watson does well to go back in. Got possession of the ball. And umpire Robinson decides to bounce. Little pat on the head then from Russell Green for Timmy Watson for a good effort. Bit of interference there, I'd suggest.
Yeah, I think Gary Sidebottom helped himself a little too.
Bit groggy, the old sidey.
Not for long, now he's got the kick.
Sidebottom will take his kick. About 60 metres out. You have to give this a ride, which he does to the edge of the square. Beasley got 3 feet. Oh, it's clear at the pack. But offline.
Magnificent kick by Gary Sidebottom.
There's the incident again. Sidebottom. Boom. Thank you.
Took a knock, helped himself, as I said.
Oh, I reckon that scrambled his brains a little.
And Gary Pert about to kick into play, looking for Tom Alvin from the back. Garrett comes to ground. He's still in it out there. Oh, cut from under him and taken by Rioli. Maurice Rioli right out the half-forward flank. Some of these players are playing wide of their positions. Alan Sidebottom, brother of Gary, of course. One of the first times that they've played league together. They played one season over here, I believe, in '76. There's a good mark in the last line of defence by Jeffrey Rains again.
Playing a superb game is Jeff Rains.
Coming in for his 5th kick.
5th kick for the quarter.
Can he kick it?
Out to the 50-metre line, it's all Victoria. Strong mark to Paul Roos, who's playing well at centre half back. Ball to play on. Uses the left foot kick effectively. Watson, well done. Watson. Back to Roos. Good shepherding enables Roos to get up to the wing. Kick not quite what he would have liked, but well done by Ezard. Ezard pops it up high for Lockett. Brereton was there as well. This is Royal. And umpire Robinson deciding that nothing further could be gained by Robert Wiley, so he'll bounce. It's 1-3-9 Western Australia. Victoria 2 behinds at the 22-minute mark. Merritt, a big thump. Only as far as Hardy. An opportunity there for Neagle. Does it well to Captain Russell Green. Green almost into the 25-metre line. Harvey from behind. Can't mark. Hand pass to Baker. Baker in turn to Blackwell. Blackwell with the left foot. In front was Osborne. Trapped it well. With him is Richardson. Osborne does it superbly for Victoria and gets a nice pass into the middle of Simon Madden.
Simon Madden quickly plays on, and Osborne is on a half-back flank. Timmy Watson high in the air. Couldn't get it. He's going to get this one now. And he's back apparently, and the vice-captain of Victoria will take the kick in the centre square. Explosive player, this fellow, when he gets going.
Somebody in trouble on the half-forward flank for Victoria, Bob.
Goes down towards the flank. We'll pick it up in a moment.
Mark Harvey it is.
Towards Wallace. Taken by Baker. He's got the run of the ball. He's in no man's land. There's nobody within 50 metres of him. Over the centre line goes Leon Baker. Up to the half-forward line. Boots it towards full forward. Bowles is in front. It's well mopped up there by Gary Pert. Bowles in the pocket. Back again comes Pert. And the Bees get out of trouble.
Oh, magnificent defensive play by Victoria. Far side of the ground. That's Stephen Wallace.
Mark Harvey, it looks like.
Harvey it is, and Harvey's coming off the ground. It maybe hurt some ribs when he went in the air a moment ago.
Doesn't look good.
Ball up towards right half forward for Victoria.
Bad luck for young Mark Harvey.
Indeed it is. There's Alvin. Fires it into the forward line to Lockett. Good play.
Tony Lockett.
This perhaps, Bob, Victoria's first opportunity, or best opportunity to score a goal. I've just been informed that I think Alan Sidebottom dealt fairly heavily with Mark Harvey, who's off the ground. All eyes on Lockett as he kicks from 35 metres out directly in front. Lockett's kick is off to the right, and that's 3 set shots at goal Victoria's had, 3 behinds.
Well, coming up to the 25-minute mark, 1-3 Western Australia 9, 3 points Victoria, and Simon Beasley has been taken off the ground and Jim Sewell has come on. So plenty of activity in the first quarter. Alan Sidebottom in front. Madden from the back. Osborne. Sent to the ground as Neagle. Taken off him by Rioli. And Buckenara takes it up. Harry Buckenara, right centre wing.
It's his 4th mark and he's coming in for his 5th kick.
Good to see him back after all the injuries he's had. Starred last time he played over here. Sidebottom in front, Alvin from the back. Michael Mitchell. Look at Alvin battling. Wiley's in there too. An umpire ball will bounce down on the half-forward line, right here in front of the members' stand at Subiaco Oval.
Well, it's 9 plays 3. We're into the time-on period, just. Sidebottom battles. Can't get the hand pass. 16 is Osborne. Ball sitting up high. Rains underneath it. Cracker. Here comes Alvin. Scrambles the kick. That's Brereton to Royal. Royal into the centre of the ground. Called to leave it by Ezard was Wallace. But breaking it up well for Western Australia is Purser. Far side of the ground to Hunter. Tries to get around Watson, but can't.
I think Hunter's been put in the forward line to try and kick a few goals because neither side can kick any.
It's certainly, Bob, been a game of defences, hasn't it?
Yes, Richard Osborne, usually a great half-forward flank, and Victoria is playing in the half-back flank. Taken by Alan Sidebottom, closely attended by Foles. They picked it out of play. Well, that's the pressure there this afternoon, and all on the back line.
So Brereton's having a run on the ball because he's the man standing on the mark, and he's forward of WA's left centre wing.
Ross Glendinning taking the kick. Hits a long one to centre half forward. Burke from the back taken by Russell Green. Boots it back to the centre. Missed by Peake. Centre of the ground, Wallace. Brad Hardy right there and with him. Bounced out at the centre circle.
Yes, it's right in the middle of the ground, and it's still 9 plays 3 at the 26.5-minute mark first quarter. It'll be Madden versus Allen Sidebottom. Middle of the ground. Scrambled out by Rains. Well played by Waitman to Royal. Returns a compliment to Waitman. They've got a loose man. Here's a chance for them. Alan Ezard, point blank range. Oh dear. Oh, he's missed again.
Well, towards the right-hand goal post, that's the way the breeze is blowing, although it's not very strong, and there's no excuse for Victoria missing those, as Leicester Smith brings it in with a long kick. He's kicking well towards the far flank. Hunter claiming the mark. Going to be paid to Rains. Back it comes from Ricky Barham, who's come off the bench. Puts it in towards half forward. Leicester Smith has his head pulled off and take the kick.
Playing a superb game at fullback is Leicester Smith. Absolutely magnificent. 15-metre penalty against Tony Lockett.
He's the lowest scores I've seen in interstate clash for a long while.
1-3 to 4 behinds. Victoria could have been 4 goals easily. They've all been set shots. He's coming across Gary Folds. Well marked.
He's one of the best taggers in the business, this fellow. He's doing a pretty good job.
Riley putting the tackle on. Folds being brought back behind his mark by umpire Mike Wall. Folds, the left half forward. Brereton the target, knocked away from him. Hardy underneath the ball. Still Brad Hardy, battling hard to Buckenara. A quick kick from Buckenara. Siren has gone to end a very good first quarter of this interstate game between WA and Victoria. Western Australia 1-3-9, leading Victoria 4 behinds.
Good afternoon, everyone. Making news today, the Victorian ALP caucus has given Premier John Cain overwhelming support in his fight to have the BLFD registered. President Reagan is expected to return to full vigour after his operation, which found a cancerous tumour. Melbourne hospitals are gearing up for an outbreak of the deadly A-type flu virus, which has already claimed a number of lives in New South Wales and Queensland. Doctors in Adelaide are testing a revolutionary contraceptive they say will take over from the pill. And the father of one of 2 intruders stabbed to death when they broke into an East Doncaster house last Sunday night defended his son today, saying he'd been invited to the house. Melbourne's weather and the cold, wet, windy conditions are to continue. Current temperature, 10 degrees. Details tonight at 6:30.
Many families buy a freezer because it gives them the opportunity to buy in bulk, save money, and enjoy the convenience of freezer living. Trouble is, buying in bulk means paying in bulk, and the hassles of filling an empty freezer often outweigh the advantages, so the freezer never gets properly stocked. With 16 years' experience and the facilities to do a professional job, Valley Pride has the easiest and most economical service you can imagine. The variety of food is enormous, not just meat and frozen foods, but dry groceries, cleaning aid, even margarine, dog food, toilet rolls and toothpaste. Whether you place a single order or use us all the time, we guarantee the quality of every item, provide credit facilities, and ensure your food against freezer breakdown. Valley Pride is reliable. With 250,000 cubic feet of freezer space and up to 120,000 kilos of meat delivered to homes every month, you can buy with confidence. And remember, if we can't give you better quality, better service, and better values than you're getting right now, we wouldn't expect your business.
No one knows tomato soup quite like us tomato growers. And we know that... Oh, g'day, fella. And we know that one brand, well, this one actually, is the tomatoiest. It's got more tomato than other leading brands, but not one drop of artificial colouring, flavour or preservative. So for natural goodness, this is the one for me.
Rosella tomato soup, the good natural taste of more tomato.
Well, he's got lots of lovely hair now.
And lots of lovely nappies, too.
Gee, your hands are a disaster.
Oh, Mum, I'm using a skin lotion.
Obviously not Vaseline intensive care lotion. More like sheep dip, I'd say.
Oh, Mum,
Why risk your skin with second best when Vaseline Intensive Care's rich formula works so quickly to relieve dry and damaged skin? Vaseline Intensive Care, the best of care.
Ah, it feels better already.
The special day gets closer for Vicky and Simon, and Matron hasn't given up on Brendan yet.
You're trying to hijack me back onto the chain gang.
That crossed my mind.
And a runaway girl arrives in Wandon Valley.
Go and brick Dr. Elliot back immediately. This girl's about to give birth.
It's not my baby.
It is.
There's been a mistake.
All her clothes are gone. She's done a bunk on us.
God, you remind me of someone. You know that?
A country practice continues tonight at 7:30 on 7.
Peter Phillips has been keeping statistics of a fairly hectic first quarter. Bink, what's been going on?
Well, Jeff Rains is dominating the centre with 5 marks, 6 kicks and 3 effective hand passes for the quarter. Osborne was another 6 kick getter for Victoria, and Royal with 4, Roos with 4, Ezard 4. There's many in that category. But for Western Australia, the outstanding ones, Gary Buckenara with 4 marks, 6 kicks and 2 effective hand passes, and Leon Baker with 2, 6 and 2 effective hand passes.
Thanks, Pete. Well, Tim Flynn is waiting down on the boundary line with Barry Cable for their thoughts on play. Let's go down to them right now.
Right, well, Barry Cable, starting first quarter, 40 of the cream of Australian footballers out there, plenty of pressure. How have you seen the game so far?
Well, it's certainly very tight, Tim, and I think that they've taken this first quarter to size up one another. Western Australia were kicking with the breeze, so I think that this quarter might just tell how strong it is. Tui copped the beauty from Gary Sidebottom, and Tui's a really tough player too, and I'm sure that he'll come back. Young Mark Harvey coming off hasn't helped the Victorians, but Mitchell...
That was the other side.
That was the other Sidebottom, I think, young Alan Sidebottom. But I think that all sides, both sides are doing extremely well, and, you know, getting a bit from every player. Alvin's doing a good job, Watson, Whiteman, and for Western Australia, Mitchell, Jimmy Cracker early, particularly early, looked very dangerous.
All right, well, that's it at quarter time. It's very, very tight with WA 139, Victoria at 4 points. We'll be talking to Barry and also some of the other fellows at half-time, and again at three-quarter time. Right now, it's back to Johnny Rogers and the boys in the commentary box.
Good on you, Timmy. Thanks, mate. And the Western Australians are all back in their positions, waiting to start the second quarter. Alexis, you can see there, Ken Judge, who missed out. Both of those players did, in fact, as did Tony Bahaja. And the Victorians are just breaking up from their quarter-time huddle. Obviously, Coach Kevin Sheedy. I guess Bob would be a little disappointed that they had plenty of opportunities into the wind to score goals, yet their kicking at goal let them down.
It certainly did. The forwards on both sides. Simon Beasley was taken off the ground. It'll be interesting to see whether he's gone back on there at the moment. I can't see him at full forward. And Tony Lockett, I think, has handled the ball about twice and missed that last shot for goal from only about 30 metres out. So the forwards in both sides are not doing extra well at this stage.
It's still going to be difficult for us to tell our viewers just who the reserves are, because
we've still got 6 of them.
There's still 6 of them walking onto the ground at quarter time, walking off. But we can tell you that Malaxis is not in the 22, nor is Judge, and nor is Tony Bahaja. So we're getting fairly close there from a Western Australian point of view anyway. Second quarter about to start.
1-3 Western Australia, 9 points. Victoria 4 points. Victoria kicking to the right with the advantage of a light breeze. It'll blow towards the left full forward pocket. And that is the western end or the Subiaco end here. Purser against Madden. Madden gets the thump. Chance over there for Ezard. Jimmy Cracker showing pace. Gets in front of Foles. Long kick from Cracker, but the ball has gone out of bounds. And the right half forward push. Yes, where it lands, apparently, and Glendinning, transfer to the forward line, is going to take the kick. Ross Glendinning, he's a long way out, about 70 metres. Long kick to full forward. Big thump from Pert. I think it comes towards goals. Taken there by Osborne. Osborne gets it further afield, and Victoria get out of trouble once more.
Bowles with the ball up to Range. Range, a long kick, almost into the four-line. Brereton from behind. Play on is the call.
That was fair enough.
Brereton was in that with Sewell, and that was a good call. Ball on the ground. Rioli shovels it out well to Baker. Baker to the 50-metre line. Back goes Albin and takes a good mark. This is Tom Albin. Hand pass off to Roos. Roos in turn to Pert. Pert a long left foot kick, almost to the 50-metre line. Here comes Lockett for Victoria. 2 to beat. Hardy tries to barge his way past Waitman, and the ball will be thrown in.
Free kick.
Or Hardy going to get a kick. Hardy will get a kick for a high tackle, and he's on Western Australia's defensive 50-metre line. Brad Hardy, former South Fremantle player, kick holding up into the breeze. It's a little bit stronger than we thought, perhaps. Knocked on for WA by Purser. Here come Victoria, though. Left foot kick that time from Royal. Right into the pocket. Lockett with one hand. Ezard battling. Left foot kick. The runner's going to have to get out of the road, which he does. Here comes Sewell. Sewell gets around Brereton. Oh, that hand pass to teammate there in Leicester Smith could have been dangerous. Here comes Sidebottom. Sidebottom to Hunter. They can get it out of defence. Hunter to a teammate in Craig Holden. Holden's kick has been well marked though by Tom Albin. Albin is on right centre wing about to put Victoria into attack as Lockett's coming off the ground.
Oh, great mark to Brad Hardy from the back. Footscray player coming in there, playing in the back line and doing it well. Buckenara up. Showing a great return to form. He loves his ground. This is where he played a lot of football. Comes inboard to Baker. Not a good kick, but Baker gets out of it. Oh, poor old kick. Back it comes from Izzard. And right to the arms of Waitman. Cracker. Jimmy Cracker interferes. It's on the 25-metre line. He's having trouble. Peeling for the kick. It's not coming. Back it comes to Brereton. Brereton to have a shot from 30 metres out onto the left foot. Dermot Brereton. And he has kicked the point.
Yes, so Victoria moved to 5 behinds. Western Australia 1-3. Lockett is off for Victoria and Walsh on. Walsh playing at centre-half forward. Rioli off for Western Australia. Surprise move. Looks like Daniels on in his place. This is Watson to the 25-metre line. Hardy! No push.
Interference is going to play.
He interfered with Dale Waitman when he went for the mark. Have a look at it again. Nudge.
Yes, before the ball got there.
Would have been a great mark, don't know. Line ball for mine, but Dale Waitman with a chance from 25 metres out to put his side 2 points in front. Kick from Waitman has split the middle and Victoria hit the front.
Imagine if you tried to do everything with the one card. Now, there is a one-card way. The Westpac MasterCard. The one card that does it in one. Only from Westpac, the bank.
It's not just a better-looking picture. Deluxe series are better-looking sets. See?
WA going to attack through Baker to the half-forward line. Glendinning.
Baker's ninth kick.
Ross Glendinning, a long kick in towards full forward. Free kick once more going to Gary Pert. Right across towards the centre. That's a good kick from Pert. Towards the centre, over the head of all the pack. Play on sits the umpire. Hunter's in there. Ken Hunter comes out, then gives it to Pete. Pete goes long towards full forward, looking for Sidebottom. He's in front. Looking for the kick, but it's not coming. Jimmy Cracker. It's about 20 metres out from goal. A chance for Russell Green. He's getting Victoria out of trouble.
Green with a long hand pass. Finally, it's out to Albin. This is a superb defence by Victoria. Magnificent defensive play, but unfortunately that kick from Tom Albin is out on the full.
Forwards are finding it very difficult.
Oh, goals are at an absolute premium as Pete.
It's got to come back.
He's going to bring the ball back in, but he's not going to take the kick. Does it really matter who takes it? I don't know.
John, Simon Beecher kicked 70 goals in Victoria, and Tony Lockett's kicked 59. They're both off the ground.
Alan Daniels with the left foot puts it up high. Glendinning! Well, he's the bloke that Western Australia need. There it is. He's got 2 to beat. And one, I guess he got hands to that first. So Glendenning from 45 metres. Well, I don't know, there must be a football magnet out that side of the ground. Glendenning's put it out on the full. The same side of the goal.
Both sides have got to come down the centre of the ground if they want to score goals. It's very difficult from that pocket.
So Pert to bring the ball back into play from left full-back pocket. Magnificent long kick. Chance for Glendenning again as he tries to get the ball forward. Mitchell keeps it out in front of him. Gets away from Neagle. No kick coming. As here comes Watson. Victoria working out of defence to Rains. They've got the run going now. Long hand pass to Wallace. Wallace, a beautiful pass to Merritt, and superb play from defence to attack. Merritt, 55 metres out, puts it up high. Here's Art Shepherd's. But the kick is offline.
Great transference of play by Victoria right from the full-back line. Well, there's Mark Harvey coming back on, and that's good to see. Leicester Smith. Richardson. Covering a lot of territory, this fellow. And a 15-metre penalty against Alan Hazard. Michael Richardson on a half-back line. Goes to the centre looking for Purser. Purser propped. Madden says, I didn't do it, but you did. Andrew Purser's going to take the kick or the hand pass. Quickly plays on to Buckenara, who's in everything. Off the side of his boot, it might find Daniels.
That was a shame.
With him as Rains. Alan Daniels just come off the interchange bench. Would be a little bit rusty. And the ball has gone out of bounds on the far side.
Gee, Daniels can't believe it. He thought he was pushed in the back and should have got a kick. But the umpire says no way. It's 1-3-9 WA, 1-6-12 Victoria. And we're 8 and a bit minutes into the second quarter. As Hunter destroys from behind. Chance for Blackwell. Traps it well. In trouble. Hand pass to Craig Holden. He's going to have to get rid of it quickly. Great tackle by Watson. Follows it up well. This is Merritt now. And Hardy read that superbly.
Playing well on the back line again.
Hazard slipped. Hardy to left wing. Glendenning in front. Watson can't get a kick. Craig Holden to Mitchell. Mitchell to Blackwell. Blackwell back to Mitchell. Watch the pace of this young fella.
Oh, beautiful.
Beautiful pass to Buckenara. Buckenara from 55 metres out has missed.
Well, the WA are going to do what Victoria are doing down towards that eastern end or the Perth end of the ground. They should be aiming for the left-hand goal post, and they're aiming for the right. Gary Perth to put the ball back into play.
2 points the difference, Bob, at the 9 and a bit minute mark of the second quarter.
1-6 to 1-4. Perth brings it up. My dear, can kick this fellow up towards the centre wing. Ricky Barham. Watson. Over to Royal. He's at half forward. Ryan Royal allowed to go on. Kicks towards full forward. From the back is Roger Merritt. Great mark. There he goes. Plays on and kicks the major for Victoria. Well done.
It takes a dedicated mind to realize the potential of a single grain of sand and cultivate it into the pearl. And it takes an ingenious mind to turn that sand into the power source behind the world's finest personal computer. NEC Computers, the power of Japan.
All it takes to install the medium-sized Hoover Premier is a few minutes of your time instead of a serviceman. That's why Hoover is ahead of the rest.
Here they go again, Victoria. This is Ken Hunter for WA to Pete. Pete kicked into his own man. He's going to have to work hard now. Merritt out the back door. Off the ground by Leicester Smith. 5 is Ricky Barham trying to come through. Waitman to Wallace. Wallace to the 25-metre line. Should be all WA, and is Sewell. To Hunter. Hunter to Pete. Whoops. Hurry. Oh. In comes Mark Harvey. Pete lucky to get out of that. This is Alvin. Shrugs on the tackle. Cracker closes. Madden too far for him. Wallace too far for him as well. Sewell. Purser it was for Mitchell. Bad hand pass. Chance for Victoria's Wallace. Can't do it. Mitchell again to Buckenara. To Daniels, who's on the far side. Daniels can run right in. 50 metres out, Alan Daniels. Doesn't quite get onto the kick. Glendenning! Beautiful mark.
Alan Daniels couldn't kick it far enough, but Glendenning read the play well. There it goes. A beautiful move of this fellow. Right spot at the right time, and the skipper to have a shot from the 25-metre mark.
That was his 5th mark, and he's coming in for his 9th kick.
25 metres out directly in front. Glendenning split the middle, and there's 2 points in it again.
Glendenning's second goal. 2-4 Western Australia, 2-6 Victoria. Coming up to the 12-minute mark in the second, and a series mistakes by both sides there. About 3 mistakes on either side on the half-back line, so it finally went down towards the forward area there and put through. There goes Daniels, coming on to play in the wing. Glendenning held by one arm, but he still managed to get with the other. And the Brownlow medalist coming right into form. Purser and Madden are going to duel all day, these two. Purser gets it down this time. Hit out by Buckenara to Daniels. Kevin Walsh, far side of the ground, well picked up. Back he comes to Waitman. Combination coming into it now. Tim Watson. A long kick from Watson to full forward, looking for Merritt. Can't find him. Royals in there. Scramble of players. Taken by Harvey. Brereton gets his foot to the ball. Chance for the Vicks. A good tackle. Brereton's in there again, and it's 4-3 for the minor score.
Well, desperate defence that time by Western Australia. Plenty of opportunities for Victoria. It looks like Sidebottom. Alan Sidebottom is down for WA, or is it Brad Hardy? I think it would be.
The Sidebottom kicked out.
Yep. As Blackwell kicks the ball up to the wing. Over the top, Madden nearly. 6 is Wallace. Wallace to Rains. Beautifully done, Jeff Rains. Pulled off the kick at the last moment. Here comes Walsh. Met by Hunter. Oh, it's nice and heavy out there at the moment. Barron got it down to Wallace. Wallace into the forward line. Opportunity now for Waitman. Spinning, turning. Oh, that kick just doesn't come back enough.
Now, Dale Waitman had to go all on his own there. He had no backup, and he had to have a shot to goal. Unfortunately for Vicks, offline.
Madden coming off, and it looks like Tony Lockett coming on. Strange one.
Lockett must be going to take over the ruck work, or Merritt will go onto the ball, apparently.
Wayne Blackwell out of the left full-back pocket, looking for Purser. Knocked away from him, however, by Walsh. So it's just backward of WA's right half forward flank, and they trail by 4 points at the 14-minute mark, second quarter.
Purser still on the ball. Walsh is coming in to have a turn too. Taken by Leon Baker. Having trouble. It's Richardson using the body well. Russell Green over to Osborne. Osborne kicks along with the ball. Russell Hardy underneath it. And he's recovered from that knock. And the Simpson and Tobey medalist takes the mark. Boots it over to Daniels. Alan Daniels letting play down on a half-back line. The umpire telling him to go back and have his kick. And boots a long one in the sun towards the right centre wing. Leicester Smith been paid. It has. Leicester Smith, right centre wing, out of side. Had a pretty good first quarter. Gone for the long one. Towards the half-forward line. Peaks in there, can't trap it. Riley can. Riley kicks it long towards Richardson. Richardson out in front. Chance there for Osborne. He's beaten it back towards the wing. Which way will it bounce? Holden picks it up and boots it back.
Holden's kick is to the 50-metre line. Here come the Victorian defence. Swooped on by Michael Mitchell, though. Backhand pass to Purser. Purser in short to crack.
Oh!
There's another fight on here. Looks like Sidebottom's got 2 of them. He's just given Pert one and Waitman one.
Big Gary is using the weight in there. The umpire's coming in to sort it out.
I wonder if it's detracting from his game, though, Bob. Umpire Ian Robinson telling the big fella to settle down as Jimmy Cracker to have a shot from 35 metres out. No, he's not. He goes short to Buckenara. Good play.
Gary Buckenara has dropped into the open spaces during this first quarter and a half, and he's done it pretty well. He's only 30 metres out.
That's his 7th mark, and he's coming in for his 10th kick.
Not bad for less than half a game of football.
And 5 effective hand passes.
Buckenara from the 25-metre line. Kick just sneaks in. WA in front.
The Commodore, as it turns over 150,000 kilometres, will still be going as strong as the day you bought it. Terry Vine, the Melbourne Sun. You'll smile broadly every time you pull up at a Bowser. This is a car Australians can be proud of. Modern Motor magazine. The Commodore has more equipment, more comfort, more technology, and more value. Paul Higgins, syndicated motor writer.
Back in the centre, Kevin Walsh having a run on the ball for the Vicks. 2-8 Victoria, 3-4 Western Australia. Centre of the ground. Over to Holden. Quickly plays on. Out towards the far flank. Taken by Mitchell. It's a good kick from Baker. Over to Richardson. Into the pocket to Wiley. Who undecided Robert Wiley, so he goes onto the left foot and puts it out of play.
Well, a promising forward move for Western Australia came unglued that time. Excellent defensive play by Osborne to force Wiley wide, and Wiley unable to get his normally good left foot kick away.
The umpire coming in there to have a word.
The side bottom again. Must be putting the big fella off his game as play goes on. Jeff Rains, a long kick into the forward line. Hunter dropped an easy mark, but will get a kick. And I'll tell you what, it was just as well, because that torpedo punt kick of Mark Harvey's went straight through the middle.
It's the big crowd waiting to see those flying leaps that Ken Hunter has been famous for in years gone by.
Hello, it's on again. Over on the far side of the ground, Lockett having a bit of a blue. Didn't quite see who the West Australian was.
Leicester Smith.
Leicester Smith it is.
I'll tell you what, they're all fighting pretty well, John, but nobody's kicking many goals.
A bit of gouging and a bit of carrying on. Leicester Smith certainly wouldn't take a back pace, and Lockett's a big, mean-looking fella, isn't he?
Sure is.
So, Ken Hunter out of defence for WA to the wing. Glendenning the target. He tapped it down brilliantly to Mitchell. This is Mitchell, number 1 for Western Australia. Long, searching hand pass is an absolute gem to Glendenning. And Glendenning's kick for Pete is out of bounds. So, at the 19-minute mark of the second quarter, WA 3-4-22, Victoria 2-8-20. And that's Merv Meagle coming off the ground. Ball being thrown in. Green tries to clear. 26 is Walsh. To Alvin. This is good play to Watson. Now to Waitman. Waitman to Osborne. And Victoria out of trouble.
Good kick from Osborne up towards the half-forward line. Purser thumps it away. In comes Wallace. Back it goes to the far flank to Harvey. Boots it in towards full forward the mark. Oh, not paid. Not a good mark to Hughes, but it's play on. Harvey boots it back towards full forward. It's a good kick from the 50-metre line. He has put it through for full points.
The new Hoover President dishwasher is so quiet, it's quieter than a mouse. That's why Hoover is ahead of the rest.
Instead of running all over the place looking for a great deal on a light truck, see your Ford dealer first. As you know, Ford's out to sink Toyota and become number 1 in light trucks as well. They're chalking up outstanding sales increases and making things difficult for Toyota. Because Ford dealers are going for the big break, backed by big factory bonuses on Econovan, Econovan Maxi and Spectron. It's like cash in your pocket. You'll score big with your Ford dealer. So don't let anything stand in your way. Get the big break from your Ford dealer on Econovan, Econovan Maxi and Spectron. It's like cash in your pocket.
Side bottom. Walsh from Victoria versus side bottom from WA for the centre bounce down. Victoria 3-8-26, WA 3-4-22. Side bottom. Here go Victoria. Waitman. Lovely long hand pass. Rains closes. Harvey tries to shepherd. Rains goes down. Hunter fumbling uncharacteristically for him.
You wouldn't think some of these players played together in Victoria. They're both throwing their bodies in on both sides.
35 metres out from the Victorian goal. They lead by 4 points. Merritt does the ruck work. Craig Holden can't do anything with it. 17 is Richardson. Victoria pressing hard as interference to Roger Merritt. Used his body well to get that kick.
Well, he backed into Purser. Purser put the hand on the shoulder. And Roger Merritt, an experienced ruckman now, no trouble in getting the kick, and he'll kick from about 40 metres out.
Have a look at that again, that free kick. The hand was definitely on the shoulder. And Merritt now from 30 metres out, directly in front. Kick on the way, looks okay. It is. Victoria have got their 4th.
Second goal from Roger Merritt. Not renowned for his goal kicking early in his career, but doing a pretty good job up forward in the latter couple of years. .5-minute mark coming up. 4-8 Victoria, 3-4 Western Australia, and a good goal there from Roger Merritt. Back in the centre, Vic's got a bit of a run at the moment, taken by Hunter. Far side of the ground. And a good mark to Harvey. Well, the knock certainly hasn't affected him. He's played well. Ricky Barham, renowned for his wing play over a number of years. Kicked it up towards half forward, a nest of players there. Chance for Buse, who's tackled, and he is holding the ball. Brad Hardy to take the kick.
Playing well out of the back pocket is Brad Hardy, being rock-like in defence. Switches play on the far side of the ground, dangerously towards Craig Holden. Leicester Smith, beautiful long hand pass to Richardson. Richardson to Daniels. Daniels up onto the right centre wing. A long kick, looking for Glendenning. With him is Roos. And the ball is out of bounds on Western Australia's right half forward flank.
John Annear on the ground now for the first time for WA.
Annear on, Hunter off. 24 minutes into the second quarter, 3-4-22 to 4-8-32. Victoria in front by 10 points. Side bottom given away a kick. Will be taken by Walsh. Off left half back flank. Nice kick to the wing. Raritan in front. Man passing is good from Victoria. Here they go as they work the ball into the forward line. Race on here. Leicester Smith. It bounces kindly for him. Clears back out towards Peake, who should have no trouble in marking and doesn't. Brian Peake off right half back flank.
Great defensive play by Leicester Smith. Towards the far flank. Another bubble going on over there. It's a mark to Gary Foles when he's going to get the kick. He's on the bottom of the pack at the moment. They're sorting each other out. And Merv Meagle is going to take the kick. And kicks a long one towards centre half forward. Leicester Smith from the back again. Roger Merritt into the pocket he goes. And he finds Harvey. Harvey kicked the last goal. He was right on the white line.
The Victorian forward line is starting to function a lot better than Western Australia's. And the WA defence is a little bit suspect at the moment, Bob.
20-year-old having a shot from a very difficult angle. Looks pretty good from here. But it's good. Straight goal.
You know, every national TV and video recorder you buy today will still be under warranty in 1988. And that's a very big warranty.
Now's the time to get started. Get some interest, save your dough. Then it's time to get along. Buy a car and have a ball.
Get Westpac's Getting Started package. Handle your money your way and live life the way you want to. Get started at Westpac, the bank.
So Victoria finding their kicking legs or goal kicking legs at last. 5-8-38 to 3-4-22. And we're into the time-on period of the second quarter. Well, WA through side bottom, a chance to get something going. Glendenning at half forward, too many to beat. Wiley, Roos on the bottom of that. Green is there as well. And it's on WA's 50-metre line, and they need a goal at the 26-minute mark. Looks like Hunter warming up to come back on. Lockett off again for Victoria. As here comes Rains. Lovely hand pass away. Folds a long kick. Underneath it, Leicester Smith, and marks again.
Cannot do a thing wrong in the back line at the moment, Rod Leicester Smith.
Tower of defence, isn't he? Got plenty of players available. Shocking kick. Puts Buckenara under pressure. Mitchell into the open spaces is clever. Ania to Richardson. Inboard he comes to side bottom, who left it behind. Took his eye off the ball. This allowed Buse in with a long kick into the forward line. Here come Victoria through Dale Waitman. Waitman the hand pass. Well played by Merritt. Down to Wallace. Left foot kick from Wallace. Has put it through.
And that started by a mistake. Fred Hardy coming off the ground. There it is. Merritt beautifully does it. And Wallace does the rest. Well, a mistake there by too many players trying to handball for Western Australia instead of kicking the ball. And Ken Hunter coming back as Hardy comes off.
Thought Brad Hardy had played extremely well in defence.
Whether he's injured or not, or he made a mistake, I don't know, John. They pull him off for anything these days.
Can't work out why he's off.
Back in the centre. Wallace again. Too high. Play on out to Barham. Gee, they'd back up well. Back it comes. There's a good tackle. Put on by Mitchell against Harvey, and it's holding the ball. Well, some of the form shown here by Michael Mitchell, how he shared in that scene over last year. To Ken Hunter. Looking for Glendenning. Having a hard job down there. Back up from Blackwell. Chance of cracker. Waited a little bit too long. Taken by Andrew Buse. Royal in the centre. Look at that pass. Beautiful pass. Taken by Rains. He boots a 60-metre kick towards full forward. It's going. It's going. Which way will it bounce? Chance for Brereton. Forced through to the minor score, and good play by Leicester Smith.
Gee, once again, Rod Leicester Smith to the fore, because Brereton had gotten that ball almost over to Ezard, and Leicester Smith just broke it up at the right moment. This is Ania to Mitchell. Back to Ania. A lot of hand passing in defence, WA. Ania into the centre of the ground. The only one underneath it is Victoria's Tom Alvin. And I reckon side bottom should concentrate more on football and picking fights.
Alan Sidebottom having a word with Ian Robinson.
He can't be an effective player whilst he's being involved in the aggressive side of football. Now Tom Alvin with a 15-metre penalty will kick from 65 metres out. He sliced that off the side. Ken Hunter getting underneath it. Could have marked, but let it roll out of bounds. Thought it might have been going out on the full with Ken Hunter.
Well, Tom Alvin has come out up the ground through shadowing Buckenara, and that's how he had that shot for goal.
Merritt over the top. Underneath it, though, for WA was Purser. Here they come now through Leon Baker. Oh dear, who was that to? Baker's hand pass trapped by Ricky Barham. Barham to Green. Green, a beautiful pass looking for Wallace. Whoops. Found him.
Well, Leicester Smith had to go in and have a go for the ball.
There it is. I reckon Wallace had clean hands on that before Leicester Smith arrived. So, this is Steve Wallace to kick from 45 metres out directly in front. Wallace kick looks okay. It's not though, offline. 6:10, 46 Victoria, 3:4:22 Western Australia at the 30-minute mark of the second quarter.
Yes, and the Vic's doing pretty well at the moment as Jim Sewell taking his turn at fullback. Kicks a long one towards the outer side. Richardson in front takes the mark. For the free kick. Now it's play on. Daniels in there too. Neagle finally boots it towards full forward. Leicester Smith again into the pocket to Barham. Nobody did a clean kick. Brereton. Back it goes for a snapshot. Right on the siren. Victoria have kicked the goal to Osborne. Right on the siren. Richard Osborne put it through. And that makes Victoria 7-10-52, a great quarter. Lead Western Australia 3-4-22.
Well, Victoria certainly made
Hello again. Prime Minister Bob Hawke announced a short time ago that the government is prepared to go ahead with plans next week to deregister...
favouring Purser, but Madden over the top. Merritt trying to get it forward. Number 9 is Leon Baker for Western Australia. Out wide looking for Michael Mitchell. Mitchell with possession.
There's a bubble in the centre.
And there's a brawl going on in the middle of the ground already. Madden's into that. Side bottom's just stopped on him. And it's on for young and old. Mark Harvey's come in. Side bottom's got whacked.
Goodness me, the opening bounced down and they right into, as soon as the ball went to the half-forward line, Merritt's saying something to Gary Sidebottom. I don't think they're actually loving words and they're still coming in. Boots it out towards the half-forward line, looking for Gary Sidebottom. Wiley takes the crumbs. Robert Wiley towards half-forward to Richardson. Quickly plays on, around the neck. Plays on to Mitchell. Mitchell 20 metres out. Well, put it through for 4 points to Western Australia.
Superb play by WA on that occasion. That's good play out of defence. Good shepherding too. Stop Dermot Brereton in his tracks. Cracker! Left foot kick again to half forward. Lock at the target. Too strong for him was Leicester Smith. This could be on again if they're not careful.
Taken by Wakeman, by Jimmy, you can read it. Back it goes to Harvey. Boots it towards half forward. And that's a good mark. There in the last line of defence by Alan Sidebottom and a 15-metre penalty. No.
Madden from behind. Hunter the chance for WA. Hooks back towards the centre. Wiley in between 4 Victorians' marks. Hand pass to Leon Baker. Baker long towards half forward. The mark taken by Richardson. Richardson into the left full forward pocket.
Kick it to Leicester Smith again. And drop Leicester Smith. Kicks towards the centre. Buckenara. Good mark.
Well, we've missed those, haven't we, since Buckenara's been east. Looks like Victoria changing their rucks at centre half forward. That's where Matt was. Oh, and Sidebottom is absolutely dropped. Don't know who it was. I'll tell you in a second. Came in with a hip and a shoulder. Pulled out by Raines. Well played by Wakeman to Royal. Returns a compliment to Wakeman. They've got a loose man. Here's a chance for them. Alan Ezard, point blank range. Oh dear.
1-3 Western Australia, 9 points. Victoria 4 points. Victoria kicking to the right with the advantage of a light breeze. It'll blow towards the left full forward pocket. And that is the western end or the Subiaco end here. Purser against Madden. Madden gets the thump.
Alford is on right centre wing about to put Victoria into attack as Lockett's coming off the ground.
Oh, great mark to Brad Hardy from the back.
This is Watson to the 25-metre line. Hardy! No push.
Interference is going to play.
He interfered with Dale Wakeman when he went for the mark. Have a look at it again. Nudge.
Yes, before the ball got there.
Dale Wakeman with a chance from 25 metres out to put his side 2 points in front. Kick from Wakeman has split the middle and Victoria hit the front.
And Tony Lockett's kicked 59. They're both off the ground.
Alan Daniels with the left foot puts it up high. Glendenning. Mark made. No kick coming as here comes Watson. Victoria work it out of defence to Raines. They've got the run going now. Long hand pass to Wallace. Wallace, a beautiful pass to Merritt and superb play from defence to attack. Merritt, 55 metres out, puts it up high. Ezard shepherds. But the kick is offline.
Up towards the centre wing. Mickey Barham. Watson. Over to Royal. He's at half forward. Ryan Royal, allowed to go on. Kicks towards full forward. From the back is Roger Merritt. Great mark. There he goes. Plays on and kicks the major for Victoria. Well done.
Can't do it. Mitchell again to Buckenara. To Daniels, who's on the far side. Daniels can run right in. 50 metres out, Alan Daniels. Doesn't quite get onto the kick. Glendenning! Beautiful mark.
Alan Daniels couldn't kick it far enough, but Glendenning read the play well. There it goes. A beautiful move of this fellow. Right spot at the right time.
25 metres out, directly in front. Glendenning split the middle, and there's 2 points in it again.
He boots it back towards full forward. It's a good kick from the 50-metre line. He has put it through for full points.
Roger Merritt having a little bit of a to-do on the far side of the ground with Andrew Purser. And Merritt now from 30 metres out, directly in front. Kick on the way, looks okay. It is. Victoria have got their fourth. Here come Victoria through Dale Waitman. Waitman, the hand pass. Well played by Merritt. Down to Wallace. Left foot kick from Wallace. Has put it through.
Daniels in there too. Neagle finally boots it towards full forward. Leicester Smith again into the pocket to Barham. Nobody did a clean kick. Burton. Back it goes for a snapshot. Right on the siren. Victoria have...
Second role this afternoon as a state selector. Ken, perhaps you can tell us what the selectors' thoughts were in the first half.
Well, in the first quarter, Wayne, I thought Western Australia used the ball far too short too often. They worked very, very hard, but it was strange to see them overdo the hand passing and the short kicking, even from full back. So that was a worry to us. It was a very low-scoring quarter. As you know, only one goal kicked in it. But thank goodness Rob Leicester Smith was playing at full back, because he's done a superb job for the whole half.
And I thought we could talk about Brad Hardy too.
Yeah, well, Brad Hardy, he plays his normal state game. He's in a bit of trouble at the moment. He copped a bad one in that second quarter, and we just hope that he can see the game through. But I thought also Gary Buckenara was superb. He was a real doubtful player before the game. Actually, he was out of the side last night, but it was an excellent first quarter, and we just hope that the West Australian players can lift themselves in this second half.
Yeah, they certainly seemed to get roughed up in that first half, and perhaps the roughing up softened them up, because in the last few minutes, just before half-time, that's really when the pressure told.
It did. I think that we've got to start to win the ball out of the centre square for certain. You know, they're just winning the ball out far too easily.
Thanks, Ken, for giving us your time here this afternoon. The team's out on the ground. The game's about to get underway, and best of luck second half.
Thanks very much, Wayne.
Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, Ken. And there are the Western Australians out there. And Ron Alexander, I'm looking at your possible placings in the budget that you've got down there, and it looks like a real mishmash. You've been making changes as you would if you were a state coach. What have you got there?
Well, one of the things we've been trying to work out is simply who's playing for Western Australia, because with running so many people out on the ground, it'd be nice to know who's playing for a start. But it looks like Clinton Browning's going to come into the game. And
where would you play him, Ron?
Well, I'd certainly play him in the forward line. I'd give him a chance down there, because he's a very creative player, very lively, and Clinton will be fairly angry about spending the first half off the ground.
Yes.
And
only his second state game.
And only in his second state game. And
that's in number 10, incidentally, for Victorian viewers.
I think he'll do very well, and Rioli's back on the ground, so that's also good to see. Gary Sidebottom's off. I don't know whether he's injured or whether he's gone to a boxing troop down at the Claremont Showgrounds.
What about Simon Beezer? I see he's back out there too, Ron.
Well, I think John Todd's got to take the punt now. He's got to have his best players on the ground, and just ask them for the effort, and just to show that the form that they show on a Saturday. Now, Beasley seems to be easily held out of the game on odd occasions.
A couple of the Victorian official party said that there'd be no doubt that Pert would play on Beasley, because he has the ability. Evidently, he's the one that can beat him over in Victoria. If that happens again, what would you do with Beasley? I mean, he's obviously, Pert seems to have his measure.
Well, I'd have him off the ground.
Yeah.
And, I'd give Clinton Browning a chance there, but if in fact Beasley's on the ground as he is now, you would imagine he would line up at full forward. Looks like perhaps the West Australians are coming off now that they've spent 5 minutes waiting for the Victorians.
Yes, they're going towards the boundary line, and their coach is coming down to the boundary line to talk to them.
Oh.
And in fact, he's taking them back into the rooms.
Oh.
Now, I can't, for the life of me, work out why John Todd would do that.
Actually, I can understand that. It's very frustrating when you get out onto the ground at the right time.
Yeah.
And then some smart aleck coach makes you wait 5 or 6 minutes.
Yes, but is he entitled to do that, Ron?
I don't know that he's entitled to do it, but I can understand his emotions. Now Kevin Sheedy's heading out. Well, perhaps the coaches are going to play.
Well, maybe Kevin Sheedy's going to take his fellows off as well. The umpires are totally unconcerned. They're just standing in the centre of the ground. I don't know whether they're oblivious to the fact that the West Australians haven't come out or not. There's Mike Ball and Ian Robinson walking around in circles.
Well, there is an automatic fine in ordinary league games, isn't it, if you're late on the ground? I don't know whether that applies in interstate football.
I don't think I'd worry too much about that, but Kevin Sheedy is now approaching. Well, I thought he was heading towards the umpires, but it looks like he may well be making about a 200-yard trek to his own team up the far end of the ground. Most unusual. There he is. He's walked straight past the umpires in the centre. Had a word or two to say, saying thumb over the shoulder. What about getting that other mob out on the ground?
Well, I think the start of this was both training together at 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon out here at Subiaco Oval.
Yeah.
And a few people weren't too happy about that.
Yeah, in all fairness to John Todd, though, the West Australians have been waiting out on the ground for 5 or 6 minutes, and they waited before the game as well.
So what's Sheedy
Just going to get them warmed up, I think. John.
Yeah. Which is a good move. Well, it's certainly been a battle of psyching each other out as far as the coaches are concerned. We mentioned prior to the start of the game that John Todd evidently did not have the permission to be on the ground at the same time the Victorians were yesterday when they were training. He was scheduled to train at 5. The Victorians were scheduled to train at 3. And the Victorians arrived en masse to commence their 3 o'clock session, Ron. And the West Australians were already out there.
Well, actually, it's becoming a little bit of a farce, the arrangements for an interstate game. Certainly a Saturday game is more well controlled than a state game is. And it's disappointing to see it develop into such a farce.
I agree with that one.
Yeah. Well, let's look at the way Victoria has played. Where are their strengths been, Ron, in the first half, in your estimations?
Well, I think the fact that they've held the West Australians from running. They've just held them up at every opportunity. They've put their hands up, they've thrown them to the ground when the West Australians had a kick and made them kick over the top of them. They haven't been able to get those run-on handballs going. Certainly Merritt's been a strength for mine. He's been like a big post there at centre-half forward, and he's been feeding the ruckman, as people are going past, he's been getting it down to the roads, and they've been kicking goals.
OK, well, we'll take a break, and let's hope when we come back that both sides will be out on the ground.
Smooth.
What a wonderful thing.
I like that.
Definitely richer.
Country made. I'll remember that name. It's really rich and creamy.
This is a knockout.
I'm impressed, and I'm really choosy about my coffee.
Ooh, creamy.
If you want the smoothest, creamiest, richest cup of coffee, new country-made coffee whitener.
Morning starts a little slow until you get that up and go. Give yourself a super day. Start the Kellogg's Cornflakes way. Crispy, crunchy flakes of corn.
Super crunchy, super taste.
Low in sugar, low in fat.
Super taste.
Super good.
Packed with vitamins and iron.
Super good.
Super taste. Kellogg's Cornflakes famous taste.
Super crunchy, golden flakes.
So start the Kellogg's Cornflakes way and give yourself a super day.
Copper Art's stupendous stock liquidation sale is on now. Their total range of traditional Dutch-designed copperware is reduced. Dutch coal scuttle is $39 elsewhere. Last week it was $25 at Copper Art. Now discounted at just $19. An eye-catching tall planter, ideal for 1 or 2 plants, normally $29. At Copper Art's stupendous stock liquidation sale, it's just $17.95, a saving of over $11. There's over 1,000 items reduced during Copper Art's stupendous stock liquidation sale.
Well, we're just about to start the third quarter of play here. Everybody will be happy to know that West Australia is back out on the side. On the ground, I should say, Kevin Sheedy is just about to leave the ground. And interesting to note that Simon Madden is not back on the ground for Victoria. And in fact, will be Kevin Walsh to do the ruck work. There is the half-time score. Victoria 7-10-52. Very handy 30-point lead over Western Australia, who are 3-4-22. Andrew Purser to do the ruck work for WA. They're kicking with the breeze in this quarter, and they will have to make most use of it. Over the top, Walsh knocked on by Merritt. This is Peake for WA at half-back. A half-distance kick up towards half-forward, and the mark by Paul Roos. Roos goes out on the right centre wing. There's two Victorians out there. An excellent play by Wayne Blackwell. The hand pass across to Richardson. Richardson with the left foot in towards centre half-forward, but the mark to Gary Folds. Folds switches play, looking for Tim Watson. He allows the ball to bounce, which is a sign of great confidence. Now the hand pass to Barham. Barham in turn gets it away, albeit with difficulty to Merv Neagle. Neagle in towards the centre of the ground. Big collision there with Green. A chance again for Watson. Mitchell tried to take the ball off him. It's past left centre wing. This is Brian Peake going back. Call the play on now. There was a kick, but Holden has kicked it up towards Cracker. Knocked on by Leon Baker. Somebody get possession of the ball as Bert clears, and the mark taken by Tom Alvin.
Alvin, left centre wing, gets onto the left foot, drives toward the half-forward line, and it's well marked there by Peake. Brian Peake playing on the half-back flank. Brings the ball right across, looking for Buckenara in the centre, finds him.
Gee, Hunter nearly spoiled him then.
Gary Buckenara, a pretty good player for the West.
That's his 8th mark.
Goes straight up to centre half forward, and that's the only way to go. Beasley back on the ground, sharp by Mitchell. The ball must come back, and Beasley is going to take the kick.
Well, Beasley still playing on Perth, out in front of the pack. And, gee, I don't know, I couldn't see a kick there for some reason.
The leading full forward in Victoria with 70 goals. Will kick from about 55 metres out towards the Subiaco end.
Yet to score one today, Bob.
He'll need to set it out to the right and bring it back. Taking plenty of time with it, the full forward. There's a drop punt on its way. Looks pretty good. Will it go? Goal umpire has a good look. 4 points.
That's an excellent kick from Simon Beasley. They have been few and far between goals for Western Australia, but he was about 55 to 60 metres out. Not quite sure that there was a kick there for him, but the umpire decided there was, and Western Australia certainly needed that goal. There it is.
Accurate kick when he gets going.
Yep. Walsh claiming that he touched it, the umpire deeming that it had crossed the line. So line ball, that one. Here they go. Rains to Watson. Watson towards left half forward. Holden shoveled out of the road. This is good play by Buse. Buse's kick up towards Brereton. Got a clip in the ear which went unnoticed. Peake mops up for
giving it back too.
And he's going to give it back, I think, to
There it
Leicester
is.
Smith. There they are. Having a bit of a dip. Rioli waited for the ball to come to him.
They're Hawthorn teammates.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe that, would you? Umpire Ian Robertson trying to clear it up. As a mark's been taken by Mark Harvey, and Peake chopped off what looked like could have been a certain goal for Victoria, and a lovely pass finds Purser. Purser, long kick into the forward line. Glendenning out in front, strong hands. Glendenning to Daniels. Daniels short for Buckenara, and Buckenara has the ball just outside WA's 50 metres.
Played well.
Coming in for his 12th kick.
Gary Buckenara now from 55 metres out, almost the identical position that Simon Beasley scored the last. Long kick from Buckenara, looks okay. It's not, it's missed. And WA 4-5-29, Victoria 7-10-52, 4 minutes in.
I was just going to say, he's kicked a lot of goals from here in his career. Gary Pert out towards the flank looking for Walsh. Running on the ball now in place of Madden. Oh, there's a good tackle. Put on him by Purcell. The ball's run out of play. Simon Madden apparently injured because he's one of the top ruckmen. He's off the ground. Kevin Walsh.
He'd have to be not to be on, Bob.
Purser in front will get the kick. That's the position WA have to take in this quarter. In front, puts it towards full forward. Scooped off the ground by Beasley. In comes Mitchell, 15 metres out. He has kicked another goal.
Gemini's got new fashion. Oh, Gemini's got new style. It's gonna go forever.
Golden Gemini.
This remote control has a place in tomorrow's TV. It's right here in this National Portable.
7:10:52 to 5:5:35. Centre square infringement, and it'll be WA's kick through Purser. Out in front, Glendenning. With him is Roos. Roos caught. Here comes Buckenara. 55 metres out, Buckenara. Beasley back. Oh! Shepherd to through. Oh, it's a goal. Well, Simon Beasley and Pert now having a brawl. Mitchell's in there as well. Oh, and it's on for young and old because Beasley shepherded Pert out of the road, and Pert not too happy about it. But it's a goal to Buckenara. His second. Mitchell was in there as well. Beasley and Pert were the two protagonists there.
And Beasley's only been back on the ground for 6 minutes. He scored one goal, responsible for another one. Have a look at this. There it is. They both crash into one another. There's a kick from Buckenara. There's the full forward and the full back. Both in it. And the ball's gone through for full point. Plenty of action here in the third quarter. 7:10 to 6:5 in favour of Victoria. Coming up to the 7-minute mark, and the big crowd loving every second of it. There's another angle. And the umpire waves a goal.
And I'd say there's...
the captain, Russell Green's coming off the ground in bad shape.
Russell Green, I think, got injured in that little melee down in the forward line. Looks like he may well have hurt a leg. He, unfortunately, is off, and Bernard Toohey is on.
Well, chops and changes. 7:10 Victoria, 6-5 Western Australia. The opening minutes of the third quarter as it kicked down towards the half-forward flank for the Bix. Waitman's in there. So is Ezard. Waitman a chance from 25 metres out, 20 metres, closing. No opposition at all, and Dale Waitman has kicked another goal. That's his second.
Well, that was all due to excellent play by Roger Merritt out of the centre. He got the tap. Victoria set up the loose man, and the Western Australian defence caught between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea. And a quick reply from Victoria sees them now. 8:10:58 to WA 6:5:41. We're 7.5 minutes into the third quarter. Buckenara having a bit of a to-do with two of them there, Neagle and Alvin. And they pushed Buckenara into the centre then. Pushed him into the centre. He's just given Neagle a clip because Neagle was the bloke who pushed him into the centre, which caused him to infringe.
Yeah, the umpire was a long way away, unfortunately.
A hand pass out for Richard Osborne. Mitchell's got him. Good tackle. Osborne gets the kick away. Pete goes back, having a good third quarter.
There's another bubble on the centre wing.
And it's Neagle and Buckenara who were involved a moment ago.
And there's the rest of them coming in now, and they're all in it on the centre wing in front of the stand here at Subiac Oval.
And Roos has had a go. Pratt is having a go. Richardson got whacked by Richard Osborne. I tell you what, there's no love lost out there, Bob.
Some of these guys are teammates. They've forgotten about that back in Victoria. The game goes on towards the centre. Alan Sidebottom a chance. Centre of the ground it goes, looking for Wallace. Walsh, picked up by Baker. Leon Baker. Looking for Clinton Browning and finding him.
I've just been told, Bob, that Buckenara could have been reported, and so too has Osborne been reported.
Oh, plenty of activity here in the third quarter. Clinton Browning, the man that Ron Alexander was talking about at three-quarter time, a very versatile player from East Fremantle.
Richardson is having, sorry to interrupt, Richardson's having a word to Osborne, who had a few moments ago given Richardson a nice old clip in the ear.
50 metres out, Clinton Browning, a very nervous kick as he's just come on the ground, and he has kicked a minor score.
Good, tell you what, one for young and old. I can see Mitchell and Ricky Barham having a bit of a shoving match as Pert brings the ball back into play for Victoria. Lovely kick, finds Roos.
Good consistent player, this
Roos now called the play on. Decides to go short and finds Merritt. Daniels on the mark. 15 metres against Shorty Daniels. Merritt doesn't want it. Far side of the ground to Folds. Right centre wing. Folds into the forward line. Leicester Smith pushed out and must take a kick. What a game he's playing. It's 6:42 to 8:10:58. 10 minutes into the third quarter. 16 Victoria is Osborne. He has possession of the ball. back to the 50-metre line. Brereton underneath that. Put the mark to Sewell. Sewell now to Peake, who's playing well in this third quarter.
That's a 6 kick for the quarter.
Mitchell. Lovely stuff. Mitchell out in front. He's off. Gets around a couple. Hand pass to Sidebottom. Sidebottom caught. This is Walsh for Victoria. A bomb into the forward line. Dermot Brereton knocked away from him. Here comes Watson. Well played, Timmy Watson. Brilliant stuff. Watson to Dermot Brereton. Point blank range. Another goal to Victoria.
These are the magnificent new Series 3 Bluebirds. They're packed with luxury features and a new, more efficient 2-litre engine. This month, you can drive home in a brand new Bluebird for just $10,990. Oh, we don't need these. That's because there's no extra costs. Your Nissan dealer is including all on-road costs. This is a once-only price of $10,990 for the Bluebird GL 4-Speed. Come alive, come and drive Nissan.
If you want to take them, but you don't want to wake them, record them with National's low-light camera. Ah.
9-10 Victoria. 9-10 Victoria, 6-6 Western Australia. Purser doing a lot of ruck work. In fact, he's been on the ball most of the day. And he'll get the kick. Does the same thing for Footscray, apparently, in Victoria. Big responsibility, a long kick to forward line, looking for Beasley. And in comes Paul Roos, the young Fitzroy player. Gets it out to Ricky Barham. Barham goes wide towards the flank. And the ball's got out of play. A throw in that left half forward flank out of side.
Thrown in on WA's left half forward flank. Roger Merritt in front. Good tackle put on him. Holding the ball, the decision.
David and Goliath.
I was just going to say, David and Goliath stuffed that. Michael Mitchell, probably one of the smallest on the ground. And Merritt kicking to the forward line. Beasley in front. Opportunity for Ricky Barham. Overruns the ball. This allows Gary Folds in still for Victoria, and he's given it to Watson. Watson's on right half-back flank for the Vicks. Underneath, this is Rains. Too far for him. This is Wallace now. Wallace still bouncing along the wing. Hand pass to Rains is a beauty. Rains runs into a brick wall. Good back up from Waitman, though. Waitman to Wallace. Wallace long to Ezard. Ezard from inside 50 metres. It's into the square. Oh, and another grand mark taken by Sewell.
Great backing up there by the Vicks.
Jim Sewell has played on to Hunter. Hunter, a long kick. Purser is there. Breaks into the centre. Rifles it into Michael Mitchell. Mitchell, a quick one to Baker. Baker long. Here comes Beasley. Knocked away from him by Pert. They've got to do something about Beasley at full forward. Pert's left foot kick. Should be trapped by Mitchell. Brilliantly. And a clip in the ear to go with it. It's tough stuff, this interstate football. Simon Madden warming up to come back on as the kick goes into Leon Baker from Mitchell, who's holding his head rather groggily.
Leon Baker played in the Swans Premiership here, played in the Essendon Premiership last year, so one of the lucky players.
Leon Baker, 55 metres out. The torpedo punt kick doesn't quite get going, and it's been forced through for one behind.
Well, WA taking initiative in this quarter, but Vicks have come back with 2 good goals. Still 9-10 to 6-7. Dupree's not a great factor out there at the moment. Gary Pert goes wide to Royal. Out of side. Got the back up from Alvin. He can run this fellow. Up to the wing he goes. Boots a long one. Down towards the half-forward flank. With the mark being paid, it has to Holden. Craig Holden. Gets it across to Leicester Smith. To Richardson. Packet comes to the centre. Hunter. Ooh, a high kick in the air.
Hospital stuff.
Glenn Dennings underneath it. Great mark to Paul Roos.
Yeah, Roos playing well at centre half back now.
That's his 4th mark for the quarter.
To Gary Pert. Pert bursting through. I don't think it'll be long before Beasley's gone. Oh, and a fine mark off the half back line to Leicester Smith. He's undoubtedly WA's best at the moment. Good pass to Baker. Left centre wing, Leon Baker. This is now Wayne Blackwell. Comes in broad. Oh, one too many to Richardson. It'll be okay. Baker gets around a couple, closes to within 50 metres. Left foot kick into the forward line. Glendenning, Ruse again.
Great player, Paul Ruse.
Oh, superb. He's got Mark Harvey all by himself. There he is. They took a little bit of treatment from Leon, from Western Australia's Clinton Browning to go with it. Harvey to left centre wing. Alvin underneath it. Pushing the back. And it will be taken by Tim Alvin, backward of left wing.
Just right in front of the umpire.
No, Walsh it'll be.
Kevin Walsh. Came off the bench. Play on. Kicks it long towards the half-forward line. From the back. Pushes the umpire, and Ken Hunter will take it. Ken Hunter not reaching the great heights that we thought he would here. Another high kick from Hunter. Glendenning from the back. Pushes it down to Daniels. Daniels to fall forward. Beatons behind. Pert's in front. And Pert will get the kick for push.
Yep.
Well, you must take the front spot, I think, in this game. And Gary Pert,
playing well, Bob.
the Fitzroy fullback, converted from a winger a couple of years ago, will kick it to the flank. Harvey and Peake. Harvey in front. Ball out of play. Another little box on down there between Harvey and Peake. In comes Brian Wall.
Yeah, there's tempers are certainly frayed. I think the umpires are doing a good job to keep as much control as they are. It'll be side bottom and Walsh. Allen side bottom for WA. Got the tap, but straight to Osborne. Osborne to Walsh. Walsh to Alvin. Alvin now to Harvey. Harvey back to Alvin. He's gone. Opportunity for Peake now for WA. Tries to get it to side bottom. Clean bowls him. Walsh keeps it in, does well too. He's got a player loose there in Wallace, couldn't see that. Wallace now to Waitman. Waitman in turn to Hughes, back to Waitman it comes. And a nice hip and shoulder that time by Western Australia's Purser. And that's going to be a kick to WA because Roger Merritt kicked it into the crowd. So Purser now off right half-back flank. Long kick. In front Rioli, but this is Cracker to Buckenara. Buckenara in turn to Richardson. Have a bounce or a kick. Richardson long to the leader, Beasley. That's great play. Better play. It's 9:10:64 to 6:7:43 at the 18-minute mark.
Same spot as he kicked the other one, John.
Say again?
Same spot. He's going to have a shot from where he kicked the other.
That's right. 55 metres out with the breeze. WA need a goal. Hurt on the mark. He's pulled it over to the left. It's coming back, but not enough. And a mark in the last line of defence.
Paul Ruse again.
And Ruse has taken it. Brilliant game he's having.
Yes, eye on the ball.
It's his sixth mark for this quarter.
Paul Ruse kicks a high one in the air towards the opposite side of the ground, looking for Ricky Barham. Put the boundary line too close. He's tackled there by Mitchell. 19-minute mark coming up. 9-10 Victoria, 6-7 West Australia. Kevin Walsh against Alan Sidebottom. One Sidebottom off the ground. That's Gary. Jeff Raines doesn't waste a kick. Kicks to the centre. Back it comes from Peake. Goes to half forward. Glendenning high in the air. That's a mark from the back. That was a good mark. Alvin. Play on, says the umpire. It's on the half-forward flank where a bounce down will take place.
Well, gee, Ruse at centre-half back is beating Glendenning at the moment, and that's no mean feat. He's having an absolutely brilliant first quarter. Walsh over the top. Side bottom on the bottom, and will get a kick. Allen side bottom. Purser relaying the ball back to him. It's 64 to 43. Side bottom goes long looking for Beasley. Can't mark. Richardson in front. Comes around onto his correct kicking foot. Finds Mitchell almost. Still Mitchell a chance. Caught the ground. It's come out to Walsh. Walsh to clear for Victoria. And a grand diving mark to Hunter. Hunter quickly onto Richardson. Richardson, hurry. Oh, caught. And well caught too. Here goes Fold for Victoria. He's penalised for holding the ball. And it'll be a kick to Leon Baker.
Well, there's no second chance out there. If you don't get rid of the ball in one split second, you're gone.
Gee, you're not wrong. Okay, so Leon Baker now will kick from about 48 metres out. 43 plays, 64 at the 20-minute mark. Leon Baker. Kick coming around. Looks okay. He's missed. I've been going on the crowd reaction. I think they're cheering at the score.
I think more on hope. Gary Pert. Quickly out to Osborne. 9-10 to 6-8 in favour of Victoria. Osborne, an exciting young player, kicks to the centre. Alvin's underneath it. Tom Alvin can't hold it. Back it comes from Richardson to Cracker. Cracker 50 metres out. Long torpedo punt kick. Tremendous kick, but it's offline and it's gone out of play.
Wasting a lot of opportunities, WA, at the moment. They've had the majority of the play for this quarter.
Richardson coming off.
Richardson off. West Australia have kicked 3 goals for the quarter. Victoria have managed 2.
Wiley on.
Wiley on, Richardson off. As high into the air, taking a beauty as Rains. Fires the hand pass off to Watson. Watson around the far wing. Purser, they're all getting mixed up. This is Hunter. Nowhere to go. Uses the right foot. Underneath it, oh, Rioli. Gee, that's not confident. Browning to Cracker. Cracker from 50 metres out. Better looking kick than Cracker. And boy, did WA need that.
Thanks to its unique air freshener, the new Hoover Aromatic gets rid of odours while it gets rid of dirt. That's why Hoover is ahead of the rest.
These are the magnificent new Series 3 Bluebirds. They're packed with luxury features and a new, more efficient 2-litre engine. This month, you can drive home in a brand new Bluebird for just $10,990. Oh, we don't need these. That's because there's no extra costs. Your Nissan dealer is including all on-road costs. This is a once-only price of $10,990 for the Bluebird GL 4-speed. Come alive, come and drive Nissan.
9-10 Victoria. West Australia 7-8. 22.5-minute mark and a kick in the centre to Alan Sidebottom. Beasley. Valiant attempt, can't get it. Baker's in there battling. Oh, and there just come on, but he can't get it. Walsh has got it. Kevin Walsh, a long one towards the flank. Looking for Izzard. And the ball has gone out of play.
Yes, Izzard put the ball out of bounds on the full. Long kick down to Richardson, who marks. Looked like he could have almost been off then, Richardson. It's not, it's Holden. Craig Holden, the player. Decides to go long to centre half forward. Browning in front, knocked away from him. Cracker comes through to Wiley, to Daniels. Daniels into the open space. Alvin off the ground, not good enough, but a good tackle put on John Anea. He's a desperate, this Tim Alvin, isn't he?
He certainly is.
Sidebottom with clean possession of the ball. Opportunity for Mitchell. It went through Wallace's hands. And Wallace is going to get a kick.
A little bit tactical, that one, I think.
Okay, so now that's off to Ricky Barham. Hunter in front, knocked away from him. Beautiful gather from Victoria by Dermot Brereton. Long kick into the forward line. Merritt from behind. Did it well to get it to ground. Hand pass to Waitman. Don't interfere with him. They have. And it's going to be Dale Waitman's kick from point blank range.
Well, there was nobody home over the 25-metre defensive line. There was not a player down there. Waitman had the golden opportunity and he's played pretty well, Peter.
He's coming in for his 10th kick and he's had 12 effective hand passes.
Waitman, 25 metres out, directly in front, 10th goal to Victoria.
And the third goal to Dale Waitman, and certainly a handy player around the packs, around the forward lines. Great player for Richmond also, and had a great career. 10-10 Victoria, 7-8 Western Australia. We're coming up to the time on period, 25-minute mark of the third quarter. I'm sure Lou Richards and Peter Landy are sitting back there in Victoria with interest in this big game from the other side of the fence. Alan Sidebottom Kevin Walsh. Walsh gets the tap. He's a handy player that's to come on. Well done by Rains over to Royal. Royal 45 metres out. Let's fly towards full forward, but it's not a good kick. Unfortunately, WA we leave out towards the plate.
Ball is knocked away from Western Australia's Blackwell, but he's going to get a kick off the half-back line and a 15-metre penalty as well. We're just saying, Bob, that Jim Sewell on Roger Merritt bit one-sided.
Yes.
As Blackwell's kick carries past the wing, plenty of Victorians waiting behind. That's Tim Watson. Gave it off to Osborne. Osborne's kick has been marked by Stephen Wallace. Wallace again going back to half forward. Thumped away in defence. Peake tries to gather. Can't. Leicester Smith. Hand pass to Sewell. Sewell clears into the centre of the ground. Leon Baker gave a couple of opponents a nudge. And the kick will go to Victoria's Tim Watson. Watson short. Too far for everybody. Shepherding. Backing beautifully out of the pack to Victoria is Hughes. This is now Dale Waitman. Waitman's got 3. Coming in for number 4. Long kick. Looks okay. It's a beauty.
Yes, well done, Dale Waitman. Every opportunity, this fellow on the forward line picks her up and puts him through, and I think Hughes a little bit lucky here. He was tackled 3 or 4 times, and Waitman finally kicks the goal. Another breathing space for the Vicks. 11-10 to 7-8. 27-minute mark in the third quarter. Alan Sidebottom still on the ball. There it is, 76 to 50 against a very versatile Kevin Walsh. And Walsh gets another thump to Merritt. Out goes towards the flank to Wallace. Stephen Wallace, a long kick. Madden from the back and a fly, didn't get it. Peake. Peake goes over the far side to Leicester Smith. Oh, they're fiddling around. Wayne Blackwell. Blackwell goes long looking for Wiley, who's just come back on the ground, and Wiley takes the mark.
Wiley's on left centre wing for WA. Decides to fire the ball long. The lead is on from Glendenning. He's underneath it, though. Good defensive play by Gary Folds. Back in comes Glendenning. This is now Leon Baker. Baker from 25 metres has scored. And Western Australia keep in touch.
That was a good team goal from Western Australia. Baker knew exactly where he was. Playing pretty well on that half-forward flank. Richardson coming back on. The change is being run there as Daniels comes off the ground, and Leon Baker, as I said, played pretty well on that half-forward flank. He was talked to. Good shepherding. And allowed to come in and kick a good goal.
That's his 6th kick for the quarter.
8-8 to 11-10 in favour of the Vicks at the 28-minute mark. Pearce is back on the ball. Gets a thump this time. Taken by Anea. Holden boots it up towards half-forward. Ricky Barham playing up there in defence, takes the mark.
Too strong for Cracker on that occasion. Barham out over right half-back flank, goes on the far wing. Pumped away in defence. Good defensive play by Leicester Smith to see it out of bounds. 20 points the difference at the 29-minute mark of the third quarter. Victoria doing it well. Purser in front will get the kick.
He's done a mighty job on the ball.
Purser's forward of the left wing. It's a high kick. Simon Beasley goes up, can't mark. Baker caught. Got the hand pass away. Good defensive play by Victoria. The ball's not in touch yet. Robert Wiley keeps it in play. Tries to get around Tom Alvin. Being held. No, ball's still in. Now it's out.
Well, the umpire was behind the player and could not see, John. Bad positioning then, I'd say.
Unfortunately, Tom Alvin put the tackle on. Wiley didn't have the ball. Never mind. A chance for Richardson. Brick wall stuff. Tom Alvin clears. Here come Victoria through Wallace. Long hand pass to Waitman. Waitman short looking for Rains into his path. Rains overruns. And near a chance. And near. Oh, I thought he was being held then. Dale Waitman keeps it in front, which is good play. Still with Waitman, can run in. Hand pass to Merritt, who's just outside. No, not Merritt, it's 22 who's Toohey. Tui, a long kick into the forward line has been marked by Mark Harvey.
Good transference of play there by the Vicks. Right from the half-back line, they play on. If there's a doubt of the decision, they keep going, and that's why Mark Harvey is going to have a shot from goal from 35 metres.
You don't stop until you hear the whistle. Mark Harvey being assisted by a parochial West Australian crowd. 30 metres out. Has missed. So it's 11-11-77 Victoria, Western Australia 8-8-56 at the 30.5-minute mark.
It's a long quarter because we had a lot of goals scored. Out to Michael Mitchell from Leicester Smith. Mitchell on the half-back line. Gets out of trouble up to John Anea, who's come off the bench. Jimmy Cracker. Wiley's there too. On the half-forward line. Ricky Barham using pace and the ball's gone out of play. Left half-forward flank. 31 minutes, 15 seconds gone. NWA score another goal before the siren. They certainly need it. Kevin Walsh coming in. And Leon Baker's doing the ruck work there. Baker comes towards the flank. 3 or 4 West Australians to 1. Picked up by Burton. Chopped off by Holden. Back to the centre. Good kick from Wallace.
No, it's not.
He's kicked it out of play. Well, he took the odds to it. Ken Hunter.
Yes, Hunter just backward of left centre wing, going in short to Leicester Smith. Leicester Smith, he'll drive long, which he does. Where's Beasley? He's got 2 or 3 to beat. Oh, Burt read it superbly. Off to Foles. Foles' hand pass has gone astray. And they're really ganging up on Simon Beasley, not letting him get a one-out situation. Siren to end the third quarter. Victoria still in front, 11-11-77. Western Australia, 8-8-56.
Good evening, everyone. Looking ahead to tonight's 7 national news immediately after the football, and Prime Minister Hawke today announced the government is preparing to go ahead with plans next week to deregister the BLF. We'll have full reaction tonight's 7 national news. From the United States, President Reagan has been given a better than 50% chance of complete recovery following his operation which confirmed a cancerous tumour. Melbourne's hospitals are gearing up for an outbreak of the deadly A-type flu virus, which has already claimed a number of lives in Queensland and New South Wales. And we talk with the father of one of 2 intruders stabbed to death after breaking into an East Doncaster home on Sunday night. He claims his son was invited to the house. Doctors in Adelaide are testing a revolutionary type of contraceptive they say will take over from the pill. All these details in tonight's 7 national news following the football.
The first thing you'll notice about Cherry Ripe is the delicious big cherry experience. The big cherry taste. Lots of juicy ripe cherries and smooth coconut smothered in rich gold chocolate. Cherry Ripe. The most delicious cherry experience you'll ever have. Cherry Ripe. A big cherry taste.
Yes, melt winter blues with red-hot winter sale bargains. With huge savings this month on Parker. Yes, proudly present the largest display of elegant Parker furniture in Melbourne. And in Guess Midwinter Sale, all Parker furniture will be at its lowest sale price. Plus, if you spend $1,500 on Parker at Guess, you'll receive free a coffee table, a nest of tables, or a bedroom stool. Guess great winter bargain sale is now on. Hurry while stocks last.
Treat you like a guest at Guess Furniture.
Copper Art's stupendous stock liquidation sale is on now. Their total range of traditional Dutch-designed copperware is reduced. Dutch coal scuttle is $39 elsewhere. Last week it was $25 at Copper Art. Now discounted at just $19. An eye-catching tall planter, ideal for 1 or 2 plants, normally $29. At Copper Art's stupendous stock liquidation sale, it's just $17.95, a saving of over $11. There's over 1,000 items reduced during Copper Art's stupendous stock liquidation sale.
Ever since man began making blades, the challenge has been to protect the edge. Now, Wilkinson Sword introduces a new concept in blade protection, the retractor. Click the blade in, and the edge is protected. Click the blade out, and retractor will shave you superbly, day after day after day. The new Wilkinson Sword Retractor Disposable. It protects the name on the world's finest blades.
yourself silly with the funniest joke ever heard as told by a galaxy of stars like Dom DeLuise, Jimmy Stewart, Jack Lemmon, William Shatner, Cyndi Lauper, George Burns, Brooke Shields, and more. The funniest joke I ever heard premieres Thursday, 8:30.
11-11-77, 8-8-56 is the three-quarter time score. Tim Flynn is waiting on the boundary line. With him, Barry Cable.
Right, well, three-quarter time, Barry Cable, and the Victorian running game starting to move. WA fighting as hard as they can, but that run just starting to take its toll a little.
Yes, I think that they're starting to feel the pinch a little bit. Whiteman, I thought, was the player for Victoria in that particular quarter who really got them going and did an excellent job of winning the ball out of the centre. But that other players like Jeff Rains has played a great game all day. Roger Merritt, Alvin, and of course when Harvey went off and then came back on, Harvey was the fellow who really stirred them up in that second quarter and got them going. As I said, Dale Whiteman and Royal are now coming into their own. Watson's been handy. For Western Australia, we've got Mitchell, who's still doing a very good job. Leicester Smith in defence has been very good. Baker has given us a lift, kicked a couple of nice goals. Peake, I thought, also in that particular quarter was very good on the half-back flank, and also Pearce has been doing well.
Beasley, when he came on in the third quarter, which people were looking for, took part in, I think he pushed out a couple of goals, or certainly tapped the ball on. He was involved in about the first three goals we got in that quarter, and there was some sign of life up forward.
Yeah, there certainly was, and Simon was the player that helped in that area. But I think just sort of generally, the Victorians just look as though they're really starting to get their running game together. They're getting in first for the ball, which is most important, and then they've got two or three guys backing them up, and I think this is where Western Australia are falling behind at the moment.
This last quarter coming up, just very quickly, Barry, will Victoria, you think, get away from them a little bit, or is there some fight left in the black and gold?
I would expect to see the Victorians probably overrun them in this last quarter, but then again, you can't underestimate WA on their home ground.
All right, thank you, Barry Cable. We'll go back to Johnny Rogers and the fellows in our main commentary position.
Ron Alexander, Western Australia looking down the barrel at the moment. They trail by, 21 points. They improved a little bit in that third quarter, but they've still got the job ahead of them.
I wouldn't underestimate the West Australians, though, because they're a little more organised now. They become rattled in that second quarter, but they got themselves together in the third. And if they can keep that going into the third quarter, it's going to be a very interesting finish.
Ron, the forwards for WA much more lively in that quarter.
Much more lively, but Roos, I think, probably took about 5 or 6 marks. And
brilliant.
He certainly was a bugbear down in our forward line for us, and Ross Glendinning was taken back to the forward pocket, and they brought Browning out to centre-half forward.
Peter Phillips got some interesting statistics.
Well, yes, you're right about Roos. He's had 7 marks for the game so far, 6 of which were in that last quarter. Of the possession earners, for Western Australia, you've got Baker, Buckenara and Peake leading the way on 19, with Mitchell on 18. For Victoria, you've got Dale Waitman with 26 possessions, of which 14 were effective hand passes, followed by Jeff Rains.
It's fairly a fair amount of possessions the Victorian fellas are getting at the moment, isn't it?
Now, see what's happening here. The Vicks are staying. The Vicks are staying in the hut a little bit longer.
Ron, what changes, if any, would you make?
Well, I don't think Western Australia should make too many changes then, because that third quarter was quite successful. I'd certainly leave Beasley where he is. I'd leave Clinton Browning at centre-half forward. It looks like they haven't done that.
No, Roos has blanketed out Glendinning in that quarter, Ron.
Yes, but they've left Glendinning at centre-half forward now, and they've brought Browning down into the back line.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that does or doesn't work. Clinton Browning looks like he is going to pick up Roger Merritt, who's standing on the edge of the square.
Centre-half back.
Centre-half back is Clinton Browning, centre-half forward Merritt, and he's been a sure avenue of attack for the Victorians today. And looks like Madden is down at full forward, which could pose a bit of a problem.
Certainly, but they've got side bottom there, so I think that's certainly a good move.
Plenty of height there for the Victorians in their forward line.
Ready to start the final quarter here of the State of Origin match. 11-11, Victoria 77, Western Australia 8-8-56. A vital 10 minutes coming up. Victoria to the right, the advantage of any breeze there is. Richardson trying to get it out. Held to him, says the umpire. Centenary year of football here in Western Australia, and South Australia have already spoilt one day of it earlier. What's going to happen the rest of the day? Purser to Blackwell. Down it goes to half forward. Glendinning thumps it on, looking for the backup. Oh, he's pulled the game up.
It's a free kick.
He's going to play that as a throw, is he?
Yes.
Out to Barham. Ricky Barham, right centre wing. Quickly got further to Tui. A high kick to half forward, looking for Merritt. He's got the set. Can't get the mark, but he's got the ball. Over to Brereton, who's just inside the line, and now the ball's got out.
Yes, ball out of bounds, forward of Victoria's right centre wing. I thought that knock-on from Glendenning was a legitimate move. Umpire saw differently. Purser in front, got the tap down. Trying to come through Glendenning. That's Blackwell on the bottom of it. No one to give it to. Now he finds one in John Anea. Anea's got time to have the kick. It's not a particularly good one.
Glendenning has come back to the back line by the look of it.
And it'll be Richard Osmond to bring the ball back into play for Victoria. He's just backward of right centre wing for the Vicks. Nice kick to half forward. Dermot Brereton sets and marks. Good one.
He's a good flyer, this fellow. Hasn't had too many today, but when he gets his hands on it.
Brereton goes in towards half forward, and Wallace leads in the race and marks well. They're feeding back into their forward line brilliantly, Victoria, and the Western Australian midfield players aren't going down with them. So Wallace from 48 metres out, directly in front. Kick looks pretty good, it is. And Victoria get a breathing space with their 12th.
He's a handy player, this fellow. He plays in the centre, he plays in the half-forward flank. That's his second goal. Picking up the crumbs in the forward area. Reading the play tremendously well as a Footscray centre-line player. And there it is, 12-11-83. Victoria, West Australia, 8-8-56. Only just over the 2-minute mark, so plenty of time for Western Australia if they're good enough. Andrew Purser is still on the ball, where he's been most of the day against Kevin Walsh. Purser gets it down, but it's picked up by the reliable Rains. Now it comes to half forward. Waitman traps it, as he's done most of the day. Plenty of time. To Royal, he's trapped by Cracker. Play on, he's trapped again. Got it away, said the umpire. Barham, 40 metres out, Ricky Barham steadies and kicks the ball out of play.
So it's out of bounds in Victoria's right full forward pocket.
You've got to earn your free kicks out there, John.
You sure do, Bob. Indeed you do. Well, the Allen Sidebottom to bring it back into play for WA. And they trail at the moment 12-11, 83 to 8-8-56, and we're 3.5 minutes in. Final quarter. Brereton got it out to Barham. Barham in turn to Buse. Buse's left foot kick is offline. One behind the result.
One good thing about the Vicks, if one player's in trouble, he's always got a backup going past.
Plenty of alternatives they have. Sidebottom. At full-back looking after Madden goes down the centre. Not a lot of height there for WA. Buckenara has the ball knocked away from him. Blackwell comes through. Leon Baker and he get mixed up together.
No talking.
And that allows Timmy Watson to tighten things up for the Vicks. Tom Alvin has gone down with cramp, but it won't keep him out of the play too long, I shouldn't think.
Only about 18 players around the ball and 3 trainers.
They're all out to Alvin. Purser got the tap down. Holden tries to come through, but that's Blackwell's kick to half forward. Behind they are the West Australian forwards, and Roos takes yet another strong mark.
Paul Roos sees the lead further field to Royal. Oh, the backup, beautiful from Toohey. The backman having a shot for goal. He's put it out of play. Bernard Toohey backed himself right up there from centre half forward, from the back line, and Allen Sidebottom will kick it in.
West Australia are lucky that Victoria's accurate kicking has deserted them. The last 3 shots have been out on the full, and a behind.
Well, look at the jostling going on. Blackwell's trying to do it all on his own. Walsh is with him. Blackwell still battling. 3 Victorians bounce down on the half forward flank.
So between Victoria's right centre wing, right half forward, 84 plays, 56, 5 minutes into the final quarter. Walsh, high. Blackwell battling. 13 is Andrew Buse for Victoria.
Got a good lead, Kevin Walsh.
Purser, who's rucked almost unchanged the whole game. Tap, but only as far as Buse. Buse to Rains. Rains to the 50-metre line. Dermot Brereton behind. That's Harvey, number 9. He goes to the 25-metre line. Merritt's underneath that. Bumped away from him by Western Australia's Glendenning.
Glendenning now playing in defence.
Which robs our forward line
Jim
somewhat.
Sewell, I think it's going to half forward.
just outside Victoria's 25-metre mark. Beautiful tap down at Dermot Brereton. He was pushed off the kick when he went for it and has put it across the face in the left full forward pocket. 8:8:56 to 12:12:84, 6 minutes into the final quarter.
Well, side bottom and Madden were battling, jostling there for position, but Madden is going to get the kick. Went off the ground for quite a while. Simon Madden, Victoria's top ruckman. There it is. Have a look at the jostle.
Couldn't see that.
Both in it, but Madden's got the kick. 30 metres out, Simon Madden. Has the shot. Has put it through for 4 points to the Vicks.
The human nose points down, while nasal drops have to go up. But now there's Sinex in a metered pump. It delivers an accurately measured dose that clears nasal congestion for up to 10 hours. So try Sinex and get back on your feet.
These powerful new Hoover suction cleaners make light work of even the heaviest housework. Smashing. That's why Hoover is ahead of the rest.
It was an excellent bit of play. There's the score, and that is at the 7-minute mark of the final quarter. Walsh again leaps high, brilliantly taken by Brian Royal. Royal's kick to the 25-metre line, side bottom, paid the mark.
Going to come back.
Side bottom has got a near available. It's a dangerous kick. If they're quick enough, it'll be okay. This is Leicester Smith. No back up for him. He's got to go backwards. Lost about 15 metres then in that little exchange. This is Richardson. Long hand pass to Blackwell. Blackwell goes inboard to Ania. Ania to half forward. Sewell in front. Can't mark. Backs up well. Tries to tap it on. Can't. Purser. With him is Tui. Purser to Mitchell. Mitchell, a short pass to Buckenara. Got a clip in the ear to go on with.
Buckenara did pretty well today, taking many marks around the ground. That was a good pass from Mitchell.
It's his 10th mark and he's coming up for his 14th kick.
Buckenara, gee, not a lot on offer. He's going to have to go for some distance. To the edge of the square. Up goes Browning. Ball to play on. 15 is Blackwell. 5 for Victoria is Ricky Barham. And it's just outside WA's 25-metre line.
And at the 8-minute mark, WA would be hoping to score. Keep in range of the big Brooks as it comes out towards the flank. Out of bounds. Wayne Blackman trying to God. He was going to get the kick, but he's not going to get it. And a throw in about 30 metres around from the West Australian goal. Wayne Blackman.
Blackwell suggesting that maybe the umpire doesn't know what he's talking about.
Kevin Walsh getting that thump down again. There's another chance for Blackwell. He puts it towards goals. Won't make the distance. Once more, line is scored.
So Gary Pert to bring the ball back into play for Victoria. 8:9:57 to 13:12:90. 9 and a bit minutes in. That's Watson. And pass to Walsh.
Well, they draw it beautifully.
Walsh done it superbly. Royal now to Alvin. Tom Alvin into the forward line. A raking kick. Merritt. Oh, what a pass. Side bottom. Didn't have a clue. Well, Madden it is. Madden the player on the receiving end of that kick from Alvin.
Doesn't matter. They're both big blokes who can take marks up there.
Madden scored Victoria's last goal. This from 30 metres out directly in front. That's another goal to Victoria, and they're doing it well at the 10-minute mark.
Simon Madden spent some time off the field on the bench. Could have been injured. He's been a great player. This is his 8th state game, and he's played 233 league games. So he's been a very good player for his club. Tom Alvin covered a lot of ground today, this fellow. Played position well. Simon Madden, and no trouble at all in putting it through. 14-12, Victoria 96. There it is, 8:9:57 Western Australia. What can the black and gold do in the next 15 minutes? 11-minute mark coming up. Purser on the ball against Walsh. It's Used to rucking all day, Andrew Purser, and gets the thump. His own. High kick to half forward, Wallace it was. Wallace, I should say. Up to the half forward flank, Brereton to Waitman. Hughes running in from 30 metres out, steadies Andrew Hughes and puts it right through the middle.
Morning starts a little slow until you get that up and go. Give yourself a super day. Start the Kellogg's Cornflakes way. Crispy, crunchy flakes of corn.
Super crunchy, super taste.
Low in sugar, low in fat.
Super taste. Super good.
Packed with vitamins and iron.
Super good.
Super taste. Kellogg's Cornflakes famous taste.
Super crunchy, golden flakes.
So start the Kellogg's Cornflakes way and give yourself a super day.
Starting to exert themselves. 15-12, 102 to 8-9, 57. Brad Hardy warming up to come on, and if he's not injured, one begs the question, where has he been for most of the game? And again, strong mark to Paul Roos. In a tower of strength at centre-half back. Kicks effectively to the far side of the ground. Purser's mark not paid. This is Ania looking for Buckenara or Mitchell. Mitchell overruns. This allows Alvin in. The hand passing brilliantly, Victoria, as they work the ball back into their forward line. Ken Hunter underneath it. Can't mark. Osborne caught. Wallace. Plenty of alternatives for the Vicks. This is Madden and Sidebottom. And Sidebottom did well to keep it away from he and Harvey. Brad Hardy is on the ground for WA. Ball on Victoria's right half forward flank.
Yes, WA want as many legs as they can get out there at the moment. Oh, Madden jumps in front, gets it down. Glendinning trying to break through, another bounce down. 13-minute mark coming up. 102 to 57 in favour of Victoria. We've played a good class of football here since quarter time. Madden gets it over the top. Ania. Richardson on the ground, picked up by Harvey. There's a pot shot, and once more a throw-in, half-forward flank.
We're now at the 13-and-a-half-minute mark. Victoria are 15-12, 102. Western Australia 8-9, 57. Merritt got the knock that time in the direction of Harvey. Harvey's high kick has gone up and down without gaining any meterage. Oh dear, some sort of error is that. Madden hooks it back. This could be costly. Waitman waits down, gets the hand pass to Barham, class stuff Victoria, and Ricky Barham scores.
Well, great teamwork there in that last line of defence there against Western Australia. Ricky Barham, there's Waitman, he's kicked for himself, saw he was trapped. Left hand of the ball, and Ricky Barham appreciating playing in the forward line, no trouble at all.
That was Dale Waitman's 17th effective hand pass.
Takes some stopping.
Ricky Barham coming off the ground, Bob. Roundly applauded by Merv Neagle, who looks like he's going back on. And also by Tony Lockett, who looks like having another run.
16-12 to 8-9. Play with Victoria. Kevin Walsh. Centre of the ground.
Alvin tries to get it forward. 14 is Dermot Brereton, and he will get the kick for a push. It's all Victoria at the moment. Looks like Merritt coming off the ground, and he can be well served with his contribution. Roger Merritt well played. Brereton's kick into the forward line. Opportunity for Brian Royal. Glendinning underneath it. Craig Holden. Brad Hardy marks. One wonders where he's been for most of the game.
He has played a brilliant first half.
No 15-metre penalty. Finally, there is one. Brad Hardy called a play on. Tripped, and will get another kick.
Well, Dermot Brereton has not moved 1 metre.
He hasn't. He's still where he was. The 15-metre penalty's gone by the board. There's Browning out in front. Can't mark. Richardson battling 2 or 3 of them. Madden uses his body well and puts Richardson down. This is Wayne Blackwell. A high kick into a very depleted Western Australian forward line. And the mark taken again by Roos. Good shepherding enables him to get his kick away. Dermot Brereton brings the ball to ground. Mitchell closing. Brereton must be holding the ball.
Michael Mitchell certainly knows how to tackle. He's tried hard all day. Perhaps some of the bigger blokes could have taken a leap out of his book. Over he goes to Leicester Smith. Fires it down towards half forward to Sewell. Well picked up by Blackwell. Daniels. Beasley's behind and gives the kick away to Gary Pert. Beasley can't play behind Gary Pert. Off he goes. Pert to the half-back line. Over the half-back line. Up towards the centre square and kicks it to half-forward. Holden. Can't mark it. Recovers well. Went from the Perth Swans to the Sydney Swans and doing well. Kicks it to Buckenara. Over to Wiley. Oh, Wiley's kick has gone out of play.
Well, that's a result of the sort of pressure that Victoria's been putting on WA all day. Wiley, that wouldn't have even been 10 metres. He should have hand passed, but didn't. That kick, a long one from Tui, should be all WA, and Purser takes the mark. Switches play, looking for Peake. Former teammates at East Fremantle. Peake's got a near available. Number 4, John Anea to Brad Hardy. Hardy gets the kick. Beasley out in front. One hand, not good enough. Sideline battle. Can't do anything with it. Here come Victoria again through Pert. Brilliant at full back. Look at him go. And Pert, brilliant pass to Lockett. And that's as good a passage of football as you'd ever want to see.
Excellent. Right from the back line of the forward line. And the St Kilda full forward coming out from the full back, Gary Pert, putting it on the chest of Lockett, who I said before has kicked 59 goals for St Kilda, who are down the bottom.
This is magnificent football from Victoria, I want to tell you. Lockett from the 50-metre line, directly in front. Kick looks good. Victoria have got number 17.
Check this one out, guys. It's Chart Attack. 30 big ones, including Murray Head, the Eurythmics, Pseudo Echo, Corey Hart, My Sex, Wham and Paul Young, Black Lace, Steve Perry, Billy Ocean and Style Council. Yeah, 30 big ones on 2 albums, plus all the words. Chart Attack. It's red hot value and it's out now.
No, Bob, they're enthralled by the quality of Victoria's football.
That's excellent. As Anea gets it down to the half-forward line. Kick must go to WA. Cheers from the crowd. As Richardson puts it in. Not looking, a chance for Wiley. Beats it towards Beasley. Into the pocket it goes, and the ball's gone out of play.
So it's in WA's left full forward pocket at the 18 3/4 minute mark of the final quarter. Victoria are 17-12, 114. Western Australia are 8-9, 57. And it has been, as we've said on many occasions, absolutely champagne stuff by Victoria since quarter time. Beasley and Madden. I know who I'll back. Madden got the tap. Daniels couldn't get the ball away. And nor could Gary Foles, number 10. 114 to 57. Beasley runs straight into Madden. Foles goes for the boundary line. And Tim Watson happy to see it go there.
Play bogged down a little bit, that left full forward pocket.
Yep, Western Australia desperately needing some sort of score. Madden thumps it away. The hand pass into the path of Alvin. Coming out with it is Blackwell. Tackled by Merv Neagle. But the umpire's going to bounce on WA's 50-metre line.
There's umpire Robertson, 302 league games.
Main stories again. At least 180 people are now believed to have died in the dam disaster in northern Italy, and rescuers fear the toll could go higher. While back home, the oil industry says Victoria's petrol dispute will worsen. The state government says rationing will be imposed if there's any panic buying. Mal Walden back with our next major edition of 7 National News at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. Until then, from the 7 News team, this is Laurie Wilson saying good night.